And now it's time for another special feature.
Pickle. Time, bitch.
Welcome out to our prototype pre-Game Awards prediction show. We haven't done one of these in the past because we've just sort of usually either had a prototype nearing it where we maybe mentioned a few things that we thought, or we waited till the actual Game Awards happened and did a long show. We're still going to do a prototype on the Game Awards results. How, what did we think of it? Discuss what games were showing off, any new world exclusive premieres, that sort of stuff. But there's been enough hubbub about what's going to be at the award show that we thought it's probably best if we do a pre-show, a prediction show, where we can sort of go over some things that we believe should win. We'll sort of do a quick comparison of categories. Do we think things should be in there? That sort of stuff. Birdman is away, but the rest of us will play, and that's me, Alex, the producer, and I'm joined with Ken. How are you doing today, buddy?
All right. It's as we're recording this is the week of Thanksgiving, so
yeah, we're getting her done. I had thought initially, I was like, you know what? Do we record it next week? Next week's busy. Do we record it later on in the week? That's Thanksgiving. Let's record it a little earlier. And this might come out during Thanksgiving, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So this way we'll finish this. You can get your gobble gobble going. That sounds bad. Strike that. that could be. It's early for me. It's early for me, late for you. Let's get going.
Yeah.
I figured, honestly, it's going to be pretty loose with this. As of this recording, there have been all the nominations. I believe one was pulled because they chose to pull it themselves because they said we're not debut indie.
Yeah.
That was for was it Megabonk?
Megabonk, the dev specifically said, "I'm not a debut indie. F off."
Yeah, I think it was one of those cases where got a lot of nominations because how it works is the voting body can submit basically anything, and if enough votes get there, it gets in. Pretty much everybody that voted for it didn't realize that this was a new studio created or new entity. It's not a studio if it's one person.
Yeah.
But a new entity created by somebody who's developed many games before, or at least several. And for anybody that wonders why would they do that, there's usually tax reasons. Starting up a new entity, getting tax credits for it. It's the same reason that you'll see with television shows and movies, where instead of unless it's like a major project from one of the major studios, a television show, you'll see at the end, if it's like, let's say it's a show about vampires, it'll be like at the end it'll say production for Bitey season 2 or Bitey 2 and then Bitey 3. Each season will be created by a new entity created solely to get new tax credits.
This is how productions work with tax credits and whatnot. Every production is its own individual entity and business.
Yeah, exceptions to that being if you're from a giant production company. So you see your Law and Orders.
Even some of the big boys still do it that way. Even the major studios still do it as each project is its own production company.
Exactly. The ones that are established for a long time, like the reason I mentioned it's like Law and Order, if it's
legacy television shit.
Yeah, Fred Wolf. If you see one of those De Laurentiis or not De Laurentiis, Belisarius for NCIS, those guys where they have their production houses, they're not doing that because they're signing like 3 or 4 year deals at a time. So and they're basically under the same production house, and they're like wholly owned, but these are billion-dollar television enterprises. We're talking whenever a brand new TV show comes out, the last like 20 years, each season, if it's a new show, will be done that way. Yeah. And that's a similar idea here. I don't know if that's exactly why, but that is usually the major reason why a very small studio or a single person project would be releasing games under different company names every time.
Yeah, or it would be like they moved states here in the States because each state has their own different laws.
Yeah,
for corporations.
A lot of times for like limited liability, it's easier to reincorporate as a new entity entirely in a new state. Or there may be something like, hey, we have a new business ventures project thing. It's like, well, if you're already a sole developer, you may as well just start a new entity if they're offering you a credit.
Yeah,
that sort of stuff. I don't think it's a matter of the person trying to hide anything.
No, he's just simply like, look, this is a different entity that I have done this under.
And I think it was one of those cases where when this happened, people didn't know who actually developed it. Like they didn't, because I don't think his name was out there in the open.
Yeah, his name wasn't officially out there. He went by a tag, and he was like, okay, I got it. No.
Because the worst thing would be is, even though, realistically, he probably wasn't going to win his category.
Oh, yeah, no. He wasn't going to win the category.
So that jumps into the whole, like, doing this is actually good press for him in the long run.
Exactly. It was good press. I'm not kidding, because he sold another, like, 1 million copies afterwards.
Exactly. And on top of that, if he
it's
had
an integrity
won it,
thing too.
Yeah, if he had won it, people in the media industry would have figured out and be like, wait a minute. It would have been more controversial if he won, and then people figured out, wait, this guy has done a bunch of stuff already. So it was better to stay on top of it, which is a very smart move. And obviously, business and clout and all that sort of stuff, it's great. But anyway, so I don't think as of this recording that Jeff has announced the replacement, but they said he was going to. For nominations. It doesn't really matter. I don't think anything else he puts in there.
If he announced something, it'll probably be next week.
Yeah,
because all of California is on vacation this week.
Yeah, so I don't think that necessarily anything he puts in there is going to potentially win. But regardless, so we're just going to keep it set the way it's set. That's just a preface before going in. And I did gather the winners from the Golden Joystick Awards, because that happened just a few days before this recording, and they
it's the Golden Joysticks. If you've watched the Golden Joysticks, you know what goes on at the Golden Joysticks.
It's like the Golden Globes. It's like the foreign press. It is an industry award show.
It is actually all entirely fan voted.
Yeah, but it is still seen as an industry. You know what I mean?
It's an industry event.
It's sort of the people's choice, but not. It's a good barometer of where the general
public is. Yeah,
and I don't remember the exact voting percentage, but with the Game Awards, I think it's somewhere up to 30% of
depending on the category.
Of the category, except for like the one that is like the viewers, like there is the Viewers' Choice Award thing that runs right up until the show, and that's like the one like favorite fan category, whatever that is. So that's fully chosen by people voting, but generally less than a third or up to a third or so of the fan vote is weighted in the contribution. The rest is all done from press and media, and then of course like whatever. So this is a barometer of seeing where that goes. So in sort of going through the list of what won there this year, storytelling was Clair Obscur. I can see that. And one thing to consider here is that some of the more niche games that would maybe probably have even better storytelling are not generally played by wide audiences. What picked up the news with all the Clair Obscur stuff was you had, a quote unquote indie or smaller title that was massively picked up by general audiences. And, I don't think I saw for this type of game, that wasn't just like a game designed for streamers, but to pick up the amount of viewership on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, whatever you want to out there. This was at the levels of like what Final Fantasy VII and Persona and Fall Guys and that we're getting during the pandemic lockdown.
Yeah.
So people that haven't played an RPG in 5 years were playing this.
Yep.
So that's pretty telling. It's not a bad choice, obviously. Best visual design, Clair Obscur. I get where it comes from, but at the same time, I think it was a little limited by its budget. There's some moments in Clair Obscur, and I love it. I love that game. Mm-hmm. But there are some moments where it does look a little like Unreal asset.
You can see the seams.
Yeah, you can see where it's like, okay, there are moments where you're like, wow, this is amazing. And then there's moments where you're like, this doesn't look like it's like a pure asset from Unreal, but you can tell it wasn't handcrafted. It was hand modified. Yeah. Is the best way to describe it. The characters have been handcrafted for the most part. There's elements in the backgrounds and that, but when you like, especially if you zoom in, like there's moments where it doesn't look as good as. This is a game that is best viewed zoomed out.
Yes.
Best multiplayer game was Peak. I've never even heard of that.
Okay, so it's basically the whole concept is you are just a bunch of like goofy explorers and you're climbing a mountain.
Okay, that could be fun.
And it's multiplayer kind of friend slop is what I like to call it.
So streamer slop.
It's definitely streamer slop.
And that's not to be disrespectful.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. Yeah. And it has proximity voice chat, so it's really funny when you have a buddy right next to you and they fall off the mountain and you can hear their voice disappear.
Okay, so it has full situational audio. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really how you have to do it nowadays.
And it's also done by the guys at Aggro Crab who did Another Crab's Treasure.
Okay, I get it. I get the feel that I can picture it in my head.
Yeah. They have a sense of humor to them.
Yeah, okay.
Basically what I say.
Best remake remaster, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Really? Okay, well, that's what I'll say on that. Really?
Again, people like Bethesda games. We are not one of those kinds of people.
But no, there's nothing wrong with liking the game, but saying it's the best remaster when we had games that performed okay. Like, that game barely plays better than actually, it probably plays worse than the original.
At times.
Looks better. It looks better visually.
Yeah.
But this was a year where we had like the
Hell Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 probably plays better than Oblivion.
Yeah. But like on the remakes, we've had like we've had multiple from Square, we've had multiple from Atlas, like the Shin Megami Tensei or SMT Devil Summoner. That played better.
And you can also count all the Switch 2 upgrades that we got.
Yeah, like there's a lot out there that I think was probably better, but not necessarily more popular, obviously. It's not me trying to throw shade, like it doesn't play well. It looks good, it just doesn't play well. So I guess
it's because the underside of everything under the hood is still the same fucking game.
Yeah, unfortunately. And
it's janky as hell.
I mean, it played really well when you're in the beginning and before you've left the cave. So when I played it, I walked outside and went, nope, I'm not playing a game that has 10 frames per second on the lowest settings on my $1,500 computer. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Just wait for the mods. Fuck you all the way home. No, thank you. You've had 20 goddamn years to get that game right. So, no, thank you.
And it's running on Unreal. And even then, I would say it runs better than it should.
Okay, it's a technical feat that they got, that Bethesda got a Bethesda game to run. So there we go. Maybe they'll get like Daggerfall to run fine because that ran on a like a calculator. So maybe that'll work. Give us like Arena or that in the modern engine, and it should be fine. Actually, maybe not, because those games were so huge, being procedurally. I think those. Is it Arena or Daggerfall? One of the two is like 10 times the size of Skyrim.
I'm pretty sure Daggerfall is,
because like, I mean, it's bland and boring. Even people that love the franchise say that, but they're like, it's the biggest game ever. Sure, okay. Anyway, best audio design, Ghost Yote. I do agree. At least I could see that. As
someone who hasn't played it, I still think Silent Hill F is the best experience of stuff I've played.
That's probably the biggest contender from what I've seen, but we'll get into that when we see like the proper nominees for the Game Awards. Yeah. But as far as these golden joysticks,
I mean, fine.
Yeah, best game expansion, Liza P. I can see that, because that was basically a full game almost in itself.
It was a very good expansion from everything I heard. So.
And I guess, does Night Rain not count? Maybe, I guess.
Night Rain is not DLC. Night Rain is
its own
separate game.
Sorry, I was thinking of the other one. That was last year's game.
Yeah.
What was it called again? It wasn't like Underdark or something. That's a completely different thing.
Shadow of the Erd Tree is the
Erd Tree.
That's Elden Ring DLC. Yeah.
Basically, the Liza P expansion is that for this year, as far as like size and quality.
Exactly.
The game is not for me, but I have actually enjoyed watching people play it. So I'm like, it's cool. I get it. Best indie game self-published. See, they have a category, best indie game self-published.
Good.
That's a step in the right direction. Hollow Knight.
Duh.
Yeah.
No brain.
Best indie game Blueprints. Yeah. And
yes.
I see that. I see the distinction, because Raw Fury published it. Raw Fury is an indie publisher, but they're not like tiny, but they're also not like, as far as indie publishers go.
Yeah.
I would say they're smaller than some of the other ones out there, but they're not.
They're medium sized is what I would consider Raw Fury more medium level publishers.
Like Devolver is probably the biggest of the indie publishers left.
Yes.
Maybe. And they've had to shrink down what they've been publishing. Like, and there are other collectives, but like, for the most part, a lot of them either got gobbled up by other companies, or they're very niche, and they publish like some very small titles that have the budget's so small that it's very rare that they would actually, get noticed. I would say that Raw Fury's in that, like, they're in like the upper echelon of indie publisher.
At this point, yes.
Yeah. Because a lot of the other ones are like, literally in the last 2-3 years,
everyone's gone.
They're either gone, or they were gone, gobbled up by Embracer, which is now gone, or they were maybe
nuked out of existence,
or completely independent, like, again, but are only doing 1 or 2 small titles a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense for that category. Studio of the Year, Sandfall, makes sense, because nobody's had a better year than
33.
Nobody's had a better year than them, except for, well, it's yet to be seen if Team Cherry has that kind of a year, but I think it's more of the success story of.
It is the success story of this year.
It's one of those cases where it's more about the story of the people than it is necessarily about the studio itself yet.
Yeah.
Best soundtrack. Yeah.
Until like someone like NoClip does like a massive documentary on it.
Exactly. Best soundtrack, Clair Obscur. That's
lock in, man. It's a lock.
It's a lock.
The only thing that's really annoying is that the Grammys didn't nominate it.
Yeah, and we'll get into, like, when we look at the categories in the main show, we'll talk about it more. But It's makes sense why it's there. Best game
Yeah.
trailer. I'm actually surprised that isn't a category in seeing how much marketing there is in the Game Awards itself. And I do think best game trailer, I would say GTA is probably the trailer 2 is the right trailer for that. At least like, yeah, I don't think there was any.
I think nowadays in the gaming landscape, trailers are less necessary to sell gamers.
Yeah, as far as hype, I think that that was the one probably outside of the Final Fantasy VII like proper reveal trailer in 2019. I can't think of one in the last 6 to 7 years that people felt they needed to see.
Right.
And GTA is something people have needed to see for 10 years.
Yeah.
So, like, and thinking about it for the future, there's not a lot that people need to see a Mass Effect. They need to see a proper trailer for that. They need to see, because they, especially with the goodwill they've sort of lost over the years, they will need to see what it looks and feels like.
Especially given EA's eventual buyout by the Saudis.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the last major project that was worked on before that happens, or even during the transition. It'll be the last major game that's not a Star Wars game that won't have had any other undue influence on it.
Yeah.
Because Disney, Disney, they won't allow anybody else's influence on how their games are made. So, as long as they're working on the next Jedi game, that won't be touched. Yep. Mass Effect, they've openly said won't be touched because they know it. The studio depends on it, and EA knows that
if they touch that, the internet will explode.
And it will actually get some backlash on their sports titles, which are already under fire. So they know those are the two projects right now they can't have anything touched. So, beyond that, we'll see. But I do like that they do have a best trailer, because that GTA 6 trailer number 2 was really good. So anyway, best early access game was Repo. I've never heard of that.
Repo is another French slop game.
Okay.
It's
cool.
Just a horror-based French slop game.
Instead of the best ongoing, they have still playing. I like that people are still playing after a while. Whatever. Mobile, Pokemon Go. Okay, I guess it's still playing PC and console. Minecraft makes sense. I noticed that it's not necessarily a category for best game that has the most support with expansions of that. It's just, what are people still playing? This is more not what is your primary game you're playing on the go. It's what game do you still go back to at least a few times a week, is how I view that category. And Minecraft and Pokemon Go make sense for that. Streamer's choice, I guess that had to be voted on by streamers.
Yep, and it's Peak, no doubt.
Okay, makes sense, because they're going to pick whatever makes them the most money right now. Breakthrough Schedule 1. I don't even know what that is.
I've heard of it. I do not know what it is.
Best gaming hardware was the CPU, the 99.
Was the new Ryzen CPU.
And I mean, I guess so. You would think a video card would be there, or a console, but
the main thing with this outperformed Intel's, which was the go-to gaming CPU. Now this is the go-to gaming CPU.
And as far as sales, you can't really put a game system on there. That putting a game system like the Switch 2 would have been something that Spike TV would have done back in the day. Best gaming hardware would be whatever the new thing that was advertising is selling. This is more speaking, hey, this is great. If you get it well, it's still reasonably priced. And by reasonably priced, it's still more money than you'd want to spend, but
it's still a $600, $700 CPU.
Yeah, but to its credit, and knowing the platform, we're recording right now on a computer that I have that has my Ryzen 3600 in it, Like that
Yeah,
CPU is now
and
6 years old, and it's still literally still going as strong as it ever has. Not for every
yep.
gaming thing. Like I can do like 720p gaming now on a modern game, or like 1080p with like double A, or I can do 4K with with like 2D and stuff. But like for everyday use in that, 6 years, this is the longest I've ever used a CPU, and it's the
Well,
3600.
back in early January, I picked up the highest chipset, the highest I can get on the chipset that I have, which is the 3600 chipset. So
Yeah.
I have a
So you got
I have
an
a
AM4.
9. Yeah, I have an AM4 Ryzen 9, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah,
It
and
was the highest end I could possibly get to.
So if you're paying 600 US for that, or somewhere in that realm for the Ryzen 9,
It was about 300.
The 9950, I think it's probably an AM5 platform.
Yeah, it is
if
an
you're
AM5.
If you're buying that for $600, you're gonna get likely 6 to 7 years that you can
Easily.
properly game on without having any issues. So I totally get it. They are still the best value if you consider it on a year-by-year cost basis.
Yeah.
So yeah, best game adaptation, Arcane. I have not watched Arcane, but I have heard really good things about both seasons.
Okay, so season 1 is amazing. Season 2, there are minor writing issues that I have with season 2, but season 2 is still a feast to behold.
Best supporting performer, Ben Starr for Claire Obscure. Okay, it's yeah. Best lead performer, Jennifer English as Mael and Claire. Okay, get it. We'll get into it when we get to the nominations for the main show. PC Game of the Year. I do like that that's still a category here. Because they have Hollow Knight winning. I think PC Game of the Year shouldn't just be the most popular game. It should be a game that is not on other platforms, or at least not yet. So that's where I draw a line here with like, because there are experiences that either can only be experienced on PC, whether through like the massive scaling of maybe how many things on screen at the same time, like how many people you're playing with, or sometimes it can be due to the interface inputs or something. Like, there should be some reason. Like, this seems bullshit to me because Hollow Knight's on everything. So I think it should be something that's like, maybe PC early access would be a better category, because basically any game on PC now comes to every platform anyway. But generally, unless there's like something really unique, all early access games are PC only to start. So maybe that would be good for the future. Console Game of the Year, Ghost Yote. We'll see. Critics' Choice Award was DK Bonanza. So I guess that's the one where
DK Bonanza was going to get something in this.
And this was probably all the critics realizing that the fans weren't going to vote for it, so they voted for it themselves. Most Wanted Game, GTA, that makes sense. Ultimate Game of the Year, that is something that sounds very much like it's right out of the Spike TV era. The Ultimate Game of the Year. Claire Obscure, yeah, that makes sense. So that I see their logic. There wasn't anything like super egregious here. Maybe some interesting choices, but that's about it. And I'll mention this. We'll go through the categories that are nominated for the Game Awards from bottom to top, top being the most important one. And then at the end, we have a few categories that I put together that I was like, hey, I don't think that they fit there in the regular show, but these are things that we would like to talk about that sort of are more of our personal choices where we can sort of pick anything. So we'll start with the stuff that we honestly know the least about for the most part, and that's like the esports stuff. So best esports team, the nominees are Gen G League of Legends players, NRG, I guess maybe it's just Energy, Valorant players, Team Falcons for Dota 2, Team Liquid PH for
the mobile League of Legends game.
Oh, okay. And then Team Vitality, Counter-Strike 2. Weirdly, I thought Counter-Strike 2 was like 20 years old. I didn't realize it's a new game.
Well, it technically is, but it's basically this.
It's
Counter-Strike. It's a reskinning.
Yeah. So anyway, I have no idea who any of these teams are.
Yeah,
I put down.
Yeah,
we all put down.
absolutely.
We abstain because we're not going to place a pick on something we really don't know. And it sounds bad. Like it is an important aspect, but every time I watch a YouTuber or a streamer talk about these categories, they all glaze over it. Unless you're like super, super duper into esports, you have no idea what's happening.
Esports. I've got a buddy that's into League, but he goes to the League stuff, and he's actually been hired by them to do cosplay and stuff.
They have a problem of reaching a larger audience with the way that they design their entire marketing. So it's not a matter of us, being like, meh. It's just we don't know, and we haven't been told why we should care. Best esports athlete.
And to be perfectly frank, a lot of Saudi money has been invested in esports.
Yeah, and there was Chinese money at one point. There was a lot of crypto bullshit being sponsoring all these things. So we just went, nope. We raise our hands and so nope. We'll see what happens when they sort this stuff out. Fighting ones, maybe I would watch a little more, or at least watch YouTubers that are in the know. So if it has something to do with Evo and that, but it's not. It's all the games that we don't play ourselves.
Yeah.
So best esports athlete: Brock, Chovy, Forsaken, Kekaru, Menard, Ziwu, whatever that is. We're all abstaining from that. So I'm going to mention.
I've heard of Forsaken, but don't ask me anything else about him.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so I'll mention that while it is Ken and I here, Birdman has for the most part filled out on our own internal form, and I'll mention if he's picked a category. But yeah, he
no idea unless they are COD or Halo. So
yeah, he put that in the notes, so it makes sense. Birdman. Best esports game was Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends, Bang Bang. That just sounds fake.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
So
that sounds so.
The
fake.
Mobile Legends Bang Bang is basically a simplified version of League of Legends.
Okay, and Valorant needs to burn.
It's a way. Well, the thing with the League of Legends mobile game, the idea was to eventually port that to consoles, and that hasn't happened yet.
Okay, I put down Counter-Strike 2 only because I actually played the franchise before. I played a bunch of Counter-Strike.
To be fair, Valorant is just a reskinned Counter-Strike.
Okay. Well, I played the original Counter-Strike. I played it before probably half of our listeners were born.
Yeah.
That's how long.
I've played Counter-Strike. I know what the fuck.
I played Counter-Strike when it was. I played Counter-Strike before Steam existed, when you had to mod your actual Half-Life files by waiting 2 hours to download the files from the internet, and then you had to make a copy of your installation folder so you wouldn't accidentally delete your main files, and then you had to mod it yourself. So I played it then. So before everything.
Old school.
It's even before they had the Source editions that came out, and then whatever it is now. So I've played it. I know what it is. So that's why I put it there. Birdman put League in all caps, apparently. Although I don't think
he just copy and pasted.
That's fair. Okay, so and then you put League as well. So obviously League is, at least from our side, I would assume the choice. I know of League. I've played 10 minutes of it, and I was like, I get it.
I do not touch League with a 10-foot pole.
I played one time. I think it was when they put a bunch of stuff on Game Pass.
You thought old school Call of Duty lobbies were toxic? League is even worse.
Yeah, I got into the game and I was like, you know what? Let me give this a try. And I went, oh, this isn't for me. I get why people like it, but no. And then I moved on. I was lucky enough to not hit the toxicity.
League is specifically designed to be toxic.
Ooh, great.
Because the game actually has a internal percentage of a win-loss, and it will pair you with assholes as a result of that win-loss.
Ugh.
You have to have, like, I think it's like a 60% loss ratio or something really dumb.
Yeah. Content creator of the year, Cadrell?
It's Moist Critical.
Yeah, Moist Critical. Yeah. Kai Cenat, who I've heard of, but only because of stupid publicity stunts. Moist Critical, Sakura Miko, and the Burnt Peanut, which I love that name. I'll be honest.
Yes.
But Moist Critical, Charlie's, like, I've not really watched a lot of stuff. I've seen things in the periphery, things pop up in my feed, and I'll watch it. And from what I've gathered,
out of all the weirdo streamers out there, Charlie is at least a decent human being for the most part.
It got popped up in my radar when he I think he turned off donations. He doesn't want them anymore because he gets enough just from advertisements.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think he made a comment about how it's toxic, like the parasocial stuff is toxic with stalkers and everything. So I was like, okay, I get it. So this guy seems to have a okay head on his shoulders, and he seems humble enough that I'm like, I get it. So I saw his name here, and I picked him, and it looks like we all did.
And a lot of people know him for the memes.
Oh,
he is a meme factory,
and that's probably why it pops up in everybody's feed at some point. Yeah. If for anybody that maybe is completely disconnected, doesn't know, if you picture guy with long hair, kind of sleepy looking eyes, kind of sleepy looking attitude, but funny memes, that's pretty much where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Most anticipated game, 007. 007's there because somebody must love it. It's going to be a fun game, likely. I mean, we'll probably get a chance to try
Hitman devs. You know what you know. You say Hitman devs plus James Bond. You go, okay, I know what I'm getting.
And it's I think in my mind I could put it in the most anticipated category for one reason only. I believe, looking at the list here, I think it's the only game on the list that is a completely custom engine.
Dated? Oh yeah, in custom engine.
Yeah, like the Hitman engine, like the engine that they have made at IOI, I don't believe it's based on anything else. I think it's completely custom.
I do believe so.
Grand Theft Auto 6 that's what you guys put. I put my personal choice, which was Marvel's Wolverine, because I'm really I will probably give GTA a chance, and then, like every other GTA game since Vice City, I will play it for 10 minutes, blow a bunch of stuff up, and then get bored and not want to complete the story, which is unfortunate because I know it's good, but I know I'm going to play Wolverine in a flurry of a full week or something. Resident Evil Requiem, I mean, most anticipated. It's an anticipated game, but it's not
for certain people. Like a buddy of mine's a big RE fan. He's super pumped for it.
Like I totally get it. I just think it's pretty obvious that this was always going to be GTA.
Yeah, it's
The Witcher 4, most anticipated. That game's like a couple years away.
That game's at least 6 years out.
Like, and well, like, if I look at stuff that's actually coming out, we have a general idea that Wolverine is probably coming out in the fall, but they might have to change things up because of GTA. 007 is interesting because we've seen a lot of the cutscenes. We haven't seen how it plays, but I can picture, okay, this is them trying to do an Uncharted game in the Hitman engine.
Yes.
So, cool. We'll see what happens, but I think we already know that this is probably going to be GTA. Best multiplayer is they have Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction. I put Split Fiction because I played it, and like that is a pure game that needs to be multiplayer to even play it. You both put Arc Raiders
for recency bias, and I believe the whole AI controversy with Arc Raiders happened after voting closed.
That makes sense. I think there should be two categories here. There should be best local multiplayer or co-op, and then best online multiplayer.
Oh, for sure. That would be
because
nice. But
and it's not
would
just
it be would you be able to fill the categories every year like that?
I think the
That's
last
the
3 or 4 years you should be able to fill, because this is where you could put your Mario Karts and your other like Sonic
Sure.
Racing or your beat 'em up platformery type stuff. Like, there's a bunch of stuff in here that you could do, and it's happening more and more. We're seeing more co-op games come back out, so maybe in the future they'll have to split it up. But yeah,
Yeah.
Arc Raiders, if I had to make a prediction, it's probably it could be Battlefield, man. It all depends at some point, like what the press likes, right? So it's
Well,
probably Arc Raiders, unless
Yeah.
they lock the votes before controversy.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
if not, it's if Arc Raiders was locked before the controversy, that's gonna win. If it was after, I would probably say Peak or Battlefield 6.
yeah. And it's funny because looking at these last couple, looking at a few of these categories, I see Arc Raiders and I think like that's the game. I remember we saw it it was revealed either at Summer Game Fest or the Game Awards like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like,
Yep.
that looks pretty awesome. And then it's out now and I haven't had a chance to play it.
Yeah,
but
it came up. Its release came up with a lot of people, and then it just like blew up for a week, and then the AI controversy happened, and then everyone dropped it like a lead balloon.
Yeah. So best sports or racing, EA Sports FC 26, F1 25, which I have played. They sent a review copy for us to consider for the holiday gift guide. It's pretty good, honestly. I mean, it's been a long time since I played an F1 game, but I'm having an okay time with it. Mario Kart World rematch. I don't know if rematch is getting a lot as much. I know soccer is soccer, right? So it's going to be big in outside of North America, but I haven't heard a lot of buzz about it.
I mean, it is. It's from the Sifu devs. It's basically it's a fun-ish game as far as I've seen.
It's
gameplay
not
wise.
like, I mean, obviously EA Sports FC is on here, but it's not PES. It's not one of the others.
Yeah,
it's not licensed. It's different. And then Sonic Racing Crossworlds. You and I both put Sonic. Mike put Mario Kart. I don't think he's played Sonic. So that there's that.
I'll be honest. Mario Kart. I would not give it to Mario Kart at all because of how just blah.
I played I've owned the game since launch, right? I played it 3 times, 2 times of which was when my brother was visiting work in California, and he gave me a message. He's like, I'm bored here in the hotel. You want to play some Mario Kart? That's literally it. There hasn't been the drive to go in. There's not a lot to it. There's been controversy with how it plays online.
How the devs are forcing people to play online is more
and
versus the community.
And Sonic Racing Crossworlds is like, they won't say it openly, but I've been playing it. I'm like, oh, it's a lot like Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
So it's
especially with how robust their DLC plans were for this game.
Yeah, it's like, what if Mario Kart 8 was like Smash Brothers with all of the DLC?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
It also helps that it's cheaper than Mario Kart World, but
yeah, well, obviously, yeah, it's cheaper, but it's a legit, really good game.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game.
I do honestly think some people, the casual viewer will be like, oh, this is Mario Kart's win. No, I honestly think it's probably Sonic that's going to win this.
Yeah.
Best sim strategy game, The Alters, which looked cool, but I don't think a lot of people were playing or talked about it.
The problem with The Alters is AI shit again.
Ugh. Final Fantasy Tactics, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier Civ, Tempest Rising, which I really wanted to play, didn't get a chance to. That's from the people that made the old Command & Conquer games.
Ah, okay.
And Command & Conquer and some people from Blizzard that left. So very much in that like Command and Conquer style. It's the only RTS on here. 2 Point Museum, I can see 2 Point getting it because it has a lot of players worldwide. As much as I would like to say, Tactics, the problem with Tactics is it's a very straight remake. There are quality of life updates, but
Yeah.
it feels 1998. It really does. It doesn't feel like
as someone who played Tactics Ogre first,
yeah,
and has gone over, it's like, oh, Tactics Ogre is just the harsher version of this.
And both are unless you're hardcore, they're a hard play in today's era when you have like brand new takes on the idea, like Unicorn Overlord, or even
the Fire Emblem franchise.
Yeah, or the Fire Emblem franchise, or like even maybe some of the more like unique takes like Diofield that came out. Like there's stuff out there that does this, like even the indie genre, like Dark Deity.
This is the grandfather of those games.
Yeah, like Advance Wars, like a lot of those stuff. I think
better. The only thing that makes Ivalice Chronicles stand out is because it's fully voice acted.
It's fully voice acted. The story is pretty good.
The story is widely considered one of the greatest. It's that and the sequel, Tactics Advanced.
That's the thing. I think people conflate the idea that like it was so good for the time and unique for the time.
Oh yes.
And then what they conflate with it is how good the PSP and then A2 were. And they think of it as the same thing, but that's not the same thing. Those were evolutions of the original, and then this is just a remaster of the original in widescreen with an easy mode.
With an easy mode and the fully voice acted.
And fully voice acted, and it's needed because it is very text heavy.
It's so text heavy.
So this to me is a no-brainer for Civ.
It's Civ.
I mean, it's even though it's
it's like, it's early days for Civ 7. In another year, Civ 7 is going to be amazing.
And Civ always has legs for 4 or 5 years at a time. So
yeah, exactly.
That's no problem. It's a no-brainer. Best family game, they have DK Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers. It's nice to see 2 Lego games on there that are completely original ideas. Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross World, Split Fiction. As much as I think Split Fiction is cool, there's some trauma dumping in there that it's not going to be the most kid family friendly.
Yeah.
It's a good story. It's just it's not going to be for like young kids.
And as much as we love Lego, as much as Lego Party is amazing, and the Mario Party game we all have wanted for ever.
It's really cool. It didn't get enough people to play it, I don't think, yet. So I think it might have some legs.
I think it is because the people that have played it, like myself and other people, I'm literally, when my cousins come over for Thanksgiving, we're playing Lego Party.
Yeah. It's legit. And Lego Voyagers, that's the one that I think Annapurna put out. And it's like,
yeah, it's the co-op game,
and it's like that's really it's like Split Fiction but Lego Voyagers. Also cool. Didn't get enough marketing. It is a cool game. Mario Kart World, nope. Nope. In any other year, a Mario Kart would be. Bonanza.
It's Bonanza.
Yes, and if Sonic Racing wasn't nominated for, if Sonic Racing doesn't win the sports game, it's a contender here, but this is the Nintendo game to win because Bonanza is nominated for other stuff, but this is the Bonanza game to win.
Yes.
And we all basically said the same thing. Like it is this is probably the most fun first party title they've had in a few years that is like family oriented.
Yeah. As much as I have like minor issues with DK Bonanza, it's still just a fun game. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah.
And it pun intended, it goes full monkey brain, and it's just fun to smash everything.
Oh god, yeah. And then a robust post game as well. So without spoiling anything, like
even though the DLC is completely overpriced.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even if you don't pay for the DLC, just the main game's post game, there's a dozen more hours you can do in there if you want to.
Yeah.
Best fighting game. Oh yeah, I should say that all three of us basically said the same thing on that. So it would be very surprising if anything but that wins, but we'll have to see. Best fighting game. 2XKO. Capcom Fighting Collection 2. I got a problem with that, son. Collections of old games don't count in my mind.
Yeah. Those are put in to fill out the category because
it was put there because Sifu 2 doesn't exist, I guess. Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Ain't no chance that's winning, even though it's cool.
Nope. Same thing with VF5.
Yeah, VF5 Revo. That's an old game.
Well, okay. To be fair, Revo World Stage does add the rollback netcode, and it's okay.
Okay. There's more to Revo World Stage than there is to the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection and Capcom Fighting Collection 2.
Yes.
Those are, yes, there's netcode, but they're like there should be a category for best compilation, and if you have that, they work in that category perfectly. So it's really down to 2XKO or Fatal Fury. I put Fatal Fury because even if the community doesn't think it's as big, it's the only big release of the year.
I would argue 2XKO is the bigger release because League.
For that, as far as like
the only problem with 2XKO is it's still only PC.
That's my thing, because I think of like worldwide, every platform who's playing, and it's basically Fatal for me.
I would say 2XKO, you can run that on a potato for the most part.
Yeah. So we'll see. You put that down. Birdman and I both selected Fatal Fury, because I'm also thinking of, at this point, of like, what do I think the critics will pick, and it is one of those two. I mean, if Capcom Fighting wins, okay, but I doubt it.
If Mortal Kombat wins, F right off.
Yeah. Best RPG. This one, in some years, it's been very hard. This is one of the ones where I have played everything but a couple here. So Avowed, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Outer Worlds 2, Monster Hunter Wilds. I have played Monster Hunter Wilds, and no, there's not.
They throw Monster Hunter in RPG every year. No, stop it.
It's not an RPG. Like, Monster Hunter Stories is an RPG.
If Monster Hunter Stories was in here, totally fine.
Next year, I can almost guarantee you that Monster Hunter Stories 3 is going to be included. Almost guaranteed.
And that's fine.
Based on the budget, and it looks like they've gone full like Xenoblade as far as the quality increase goes. So that'll probably be here. But this, like, I think it should be disqualified on default because it's not the genre that it is. It's not even as much of an action RPG. It's just an action adventure title. Like, it's like a Zelda almost.
They literally do it every single time, and it's so annoying.
So, like, and not to mention the performance, taking that out of account, I think it's disqualified based on, does it have action RPG elements? Yes, but it's not really like that. It's as much of an RPG as God of War is.
Yeah.
So I haven't played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but I know the game is fully out now, like, officially. There's no extra content, patches or whatnot. Okay. It's fully out. It is very old school Bethesda-y, but doesn't fall apart. This is the obligatory, European
PC
style
game. Yeah.
European PC RPG that isn't Eurojank
Yes.
included. Having played Avowed is a fun game. It is not a game of the year game. It is a fun game with a cool, decent story. It feels like
Avowed is one of those games that is born to be a Game Pass game.
Yeah, it's the best way to describe it is it's 75% of what you would expect in a full retail game. But of that 75% of a full retail game, it's an 80% game.
Yeah.
That sounds weird, but if you know what I'm saying, it's an 8 out of 10 on top of the fact that it's only about 75% of the size of the game that you would have expected. And that's pretty much what I would say Obsidian does at this point. And it's not just the Game Pass thing. Like all of their games, with the exceptions of the South Park games,
they are smart enough to keep their scope small.
Yeah.
And not grow to the point where they're another Bethesda and their games are falling apart.
Their games usually launch in a working, without having major glitches. They don't crash like their colleagues do with most of their games. They put out usually a game every 2 to 3 years at this point, and this time they did 2 in the same year. If you had taken all of the effort they put into Avowed and all the effort they put into Outer Worlds 2 and made one big giant game, it would have been great, but it probably wouldn't win the RPG of the year because of its competition this year. So Outer Worlds 2 is interesting in that it is a better game than Avowed overall. It is a bigger game with better budget, more going on. And yet when I played it, I couldn't stop thinking that the story was better in the first game. And that is honestly, it's a rarity. That's not something you usually would see from Obsidian, BioWare, even Bethesda. Usually the stories tend to get better with each iteration. For whatever reason, I think maybe they played it safer because of Microsoft. Because I don't know if people know, but The Outer Worlds 1 was made, it was the last game they made before the acquisition. Yes. They were actually acquired during production of the game. Yeah. When all the budget had been spent and they had a separate publisher initially for the game.
Yeah, because I believe it was under 2K's private division.
Yeah. And in playing this feels not that Microsoft had their tendrils in them, but that they wanted to appease Microsoft, and they're like, here's a game with a story and everything included that will give the quirkiness that you're expecting, and here it was like paint by numbers.
It's once again feels like a Game Pass game.
It was clear this was chosen to be a Game Pass game from the start. Avowed, what felt when I played it was like they were like, can you make us a Dragon Age game?
Yes.
And that's what it felt like. And this was like, can you make us a Fallout game that's colorful? Because your last game was critically acclaimed and did well, even though it had a lower budget. So the budget is there. It is fun, but it doesn't have the really, like, there were like some twisted, biting satire moments and like some stuff that would come out of nowhere and be really dark.
It feels like some of the teeth got pulled out of it.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's still a very fun game. And if you have Game Pass, both of those games are great. What they aren't is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So yeah. They're not that. If you took Clair Obscur out of this year, out of this list, it would have probably been Outer Worlds 2. Because there was some controversy around Avowed initially. Do you remember all the press before it came out? All the press was, there's not enough weight to it. People were complaining about how, it doesn't feel like Skyrim. Like it was like, God, it's not supposed to be Skyrim.
It wasn't intended to be. Yeah,
so, exactly. but the problem was
I think a lot of people came back to Avowed later on in the year.
Yeah, and I noticed that like during the summertime,
had a nice reassessment.
during the summertime, especially, like basically when people had extra time on their hands, they started playing it. They're like, oh, it's actually pretty good. It likely would have been Outer Worlds 2 or Kingdom Come that wins this.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a lock. Like, it doesn't matter that it's nominated for Game of the Year. I think Claire Obscur wins Best RPG, period.
Yes.
Moving on, Best Action Adventure Game, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Indiana Jones, Hollow Knight, Silksong, and Split Fiction. I can say this definitively, Split Fiction is super fun, but it would not have won this category. Didn't matter what was in here. Hollow Knight, it's too difficult. That's what I was going to say. I don't think it can win because it's not accessible enough.
Hollow Knight Silksong is for action adventure sickos.
It's a fun, cool game, but if you noticed, way more press and more public outcry over how difficult it was than I've ever seen for a game of this style.
The game was specifically designed in a bubble. One, it was in a bubble. Two, it was as if you had just finished Hollow Knight, which was
at an elite level
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. Ghost of Yotei, I can say this, it is a really good game. I felt that elements of the first game were better, but I felt that the story was more organic in this game. And there was a lot of fun stuff, but that being said, because there's a freedom to this, and I know eventually when it hits PC and you get a chance to play it, you'll probably find this too. You have the ability in the game to, after you do the very first part of the mission, it's like, where would you like to go next? There's like 2 or 3 ways you can go. I went the way that I thought it was asking me to go.
Yeah.
And just the way my brain works. And I did it, and it was fun, but it was kind of the blandest part of the game was the part of the game that I played, and I was like, ooh. And then going and playing it, the other parts, I went, oh, after beating it, I was like, if I had gone in this order instead, it would have made that first part even more fun, because unlocking the ninja powers, like this, and doing all the stuff that sneaks around, and like the more ninja aspect, not the samurai aspect. If you do that ninja stuff first, the first part of the game would have felt differently. And also, depending on the order you do things in, the cutscenes change slightly. So, beating certain areas,
it's designed a little more open than other.
The first game was pretty linear.
Yes,
the areas opened up,
actually, at times,
and you can do anything you want, but like the story in this, the story still has to progress once you've completed everything, but the order in which you complete it does change the way the bad guys and NPCs and cutscenes play out. So it's cool. Mike put Yotei on it because he's been playing it, but Death Stranding
2, the problem with Death Stranding 2 is a very artsy-fartsy game.
And I think people are turned off because they hated the gameplay of the first one.
Yes. Even though the second one solves a lot of issues with the first one.
I haven't seen anybody talk about it, play it, or like, it's just not in people's minds, really. This is here because it is an artistic...
If you are a Kojima head, you have played Death Stranding 2, you like Death Stranding 2, but there are better games that came out this year.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. So I put down Indiana Jones, and I know you did as well, because I was a big skeptic, because I'm just not a fan of first-person perspective games, for the most part, other than the occasional shooter, that sort of thing. Like I'll do a little bit, but like I was like, I don't know. And sometimes the machine game stuff can be a little jank when it comes to like the Wolfenstein games. They can be good, but there's always an element of jankiness, and it's Bethesda, and then I played it and I went, oh shit, it's pretty good. And I ended up doing everything except solving the final puzzle in the main part. Now there's been an expansion out, and yada yada. I get it. Action adventure game of these games listed here. Part of me wants to say Ghost of Yotei should win, but I do think that Indiana Jones is probably going to win, and it would be my pick because even though it's based on an IP, it is more unique. Like Ghosts of Yote 2 is just more Ghosts of whatever. And I mentioned it in my review. It's time for the studio to move on and not do.
I think
we do not want another one.
I think Sucker Punch even probably can acknowledge that.
Yeah, like there's nothing more we can do before the next game. If they announce it, if it's another, Ghosts of whatever, and it's just another samurai game, I can guarantee you the entire press thing will be, oh great, they've become Ubisoft.
Yeah,
and there was already a little bit of that, happening here. The only reason I think it did better, and there's going to be people who are like, I don't like that it's a woman, blah blah blah. It wasn't that.
We will see what happens when it hits PC next year or the year after.
The reason it did better, and I think it fared better than it even would have in criticism, was everybody was up in arms about, about Shadows. And then they're like, well, you just wait and see till Yote comes out. So there was hype going into it because it's like everybody wanted to like show up Ubisoft or whatever. And it turns out that they're both good games and both in completely different ways. But in playing it, I played both, right? I do feel that Ghost of Yote had some of its luster pulled out from it because both of them are
Shadows.
They're both revenge stories and they're told in similar ways.
Mm-hmm.
So best action game: Battlefield 6, Doom Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, Shinobi Art of Vengeance. You put down Ninja Gaiden 4. Mike put down Doom. I put down Ninja Gaiden 4. Doom is very close, but Doom I also know pissed off Doom fans. It was the Doom game for people that didn't like the last couple of Dooms.
The last two Dooms. The thing with the first Doom 2016 was a little more heavy on, okay, you got to solve. You should solve problems using certain weapons. The last Doom was completely, no, you have to use certain weapons.
Yeah, and it was so quick and moving, and it was for a certain type of game player. This is the most accessible Doom has probably ever been, ever. Like even going back to the PC in the 90s.
This is more about it is a different vibe than the last two Dooms. And as a result, that ticked off a lot of fans of 2016. It also ticked off of fans of the last one.
And yet, like, it's a good game, but I can see why, like, there were some really fun aspects, like the part where you're flying around in the dragon, those levels are fun. The parts where you're the giant mecha, that's cool. There's a few cool elements with some puzzles to solve. It was a good play, but this was Doom, the Game Pass game. Same thing as what we talked about previously with Avowed. This felt like it was designed as a Game Pass game, not as something that would sustain 10 million sales.
Yeah. And as much as I love Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, it's platinum.
Yeah. And it's
even platinum at their worst is still platinum.
Yeah, and you know what? There's some jank with it. You'll see prominent YouTubers be like, "Oh, this is this is the first Ninja Gaiden game where pretty much anybody can beat it." like there's accessibility. If you keep it on the normal mode, it's probably still a little bit easier than like Ninja Gaiden 2, for instance. But if you put it on easier, you put on some accessibility options. Unless you're like you can even have it like where you can't die if you really want to. You can. There is no excuse for not being able to complete the game. Like you can't use it's too hard. You can't use that as an excuse anymore. So regardless of your difficulty setting, I believe even if you put it on like the can't die easiest mode, whatever, if you do the challenge missions throughout it, you can still die because it turns off those modes when you're doing challenges. But just to get from beginning to end, you can experience it. It's a fun, ridiculous story. There's pretty interesting bosses. It's super buttery smooth, like when you play it on PC or any console. It just feels cool. It feels like a game from 20 years ago, but not in a bad way. Like it's in its own world. It just works really well. It's super fun. It is probably the best action game. Looking at this list, Shinobi Art of Vengeance is also good, but as much as I like Shinobi Art of Vengeance, I think Ninja Gaiden Ragebound was better than Art of Vengeance, personally. And it wasn't nominated because...
You and many other people.
Because the only reason it's here is because they didn't want to have two Ninja Gaiden games on the same category.
Exactly.
So, because when I saw this, I was like, wait, Shinobi Art of Vengeance? I'm like, that's a good game, but Ragebound's a great game. So why is that? Gaiden 4 is there. And it's like, yeah, and Gaiden 4 is better than Ragebound. It's just, even taking into account that they're different styles, it is a better game. So I would be very surprised. Doom could win. Hades could win. Battlefield won't win.
Nope, sadly.
But I really do think it's probably Ninja Gaiden that's going to win.
Yeah. If anything kind of stands out in terms of what's on the list and that wasn't nominated for anything else, and kind of like, okay, this really stands out, especially given the passing of the original creator of the modern Ninja Gaiden series.
I wouldn't be surprised
before 4 dropped too.
I wouldn't be
really
surprised
sad.
If the game wins. Whoever accepts it, they do like a in memoriam,
a little
thing,
dedication to him.
Yeah, because it was his idea. You know, he like, you want to talk about people from the like G4 era, Spike TV. You know, little misogynistic
personality,
but little misogynistic, but not in a not meant to be a creepy or evil way. Like just that era of bravado. He's from the era of like, I make the best, like quotes like, I make the best games ever. Everybody wants to be, worshipped by games like I'm a god. Like that was the personality he cultivated.
Him and Harada were the two kings of that.
Yeah, like whereas you had people like Igarashi and you had people like Kojima being like more humble, but like cool guy humble. They were like, it wasn't even just like humble brag.
They were art house. Cool.
Yeah, whereas these guys were like doing the rock star thing, Harada and him, and like you had some people like in that era, you had American developers like Cliff Bleszinski, or like the best way to describe him is like John Romero, after a few drinks. That's basically
that's a good descriptor.
That was basically what he was like. John Romero, if he had a couple of drinks and just let him go and talk, like. If you put two of them in the same room together, it would have been, insanity back in the Spike TV era. So, we'll see. I do think it's probably going to win, but Doom could win, but it's probably going to be Ninja Gaiden. Best VR or AR game: Alien, Rogue Incursion, Arcane Age, Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool, and Midnight Walk. I put Midnight Walk because I played Midnight Walk, just not in VR.
Yeah. Rogue Incursion simply because if you think of Alien VR game, that's what you get with it. Rogue Incursion, as far as I saw, it's like, oh, this is exactly the game I would want if I'm playing an Alien VR game. I want to get scared the absolute crap out of me.
Well, the reason I put it, what my put was, if I've played a game in the category, I should probably give it preference, even though, I didn't play any other ones. And I have the Quest 2, but I mean, I haven't turned it on in like a year. So that tells you something.
And spoilers, the Quest, there's going to be more Quest 3s out because I'm seeing like $100 discounts for the holidays. AKA the price it was originally.
Exactly. Best mobile game: Destiny, Rising, Persona 5, Phantom X, Sonic Rumble. Oh boy, here we go.
Uma Musume Pretty Derby.
Yeah, pretty Derby. and then Wuthering Waves. I put Persona 5 only because I hadn't heard of the others or played the others. Mike put Persona because he loves Persona. You put Pretty Derby because you actually know what's going on.
Yeah, it's the horse girl game.
Fair enough. We'll move on from there. Best debut indie game. This is where we mentioned we're going to talk about indies. Categories for indies. We have best debut indie and best independent game. I think there should be actually a couple of categories. I think best debut indie game, you could change this and you could make it this should be the best self-published game category.
Yeah.
Best independently self-published game is one. And then the other one for best independent game, you could switch it to best indie publisher game.
Mm-hmm.
So published by an indie publisher, it should be best independent game, by a publisher, and best indie self-published game. And the other argument can be made, or if you wanted to switch it around, best debut indie shouldn't necessarily exist. He could give an award to, hey, here's a an award for a spotlight award. Here's an award given to a brand new.
You can rename it, but mean the same thing.
Yeah, you could have an indie spotlight, best indie spotlight award, and you give that to somebody who you're like, look at this is an indie, like one or two people, look what they did. I think there should be a category of best indie game, and you specifically make the best indie game under let's say $5 million budget, but like you'd think you could do under 1 million, but that's very difficult to do unless it's a solo publisher anymore.
Yeah.
So what you do is you make it best indie game, and you set the category under 50 employees.
Yeah.
Best or you do best indie game under 10 employees, and then best indie game under 50 employees. You could do it that way, like,
yep.
And people are like, well, because the argument can be made that Claire Obscure has less than 40 employees total. No, but they did farm out a lot of the final touches to like 100 other people, with like a QA firm and that. So you have to tie budget to it. You have to tie budget and size. It's not even necessarily if it's self-published or whatever.
Yeah,
you have to go.
Publishing doesn't necessarily matter anymore, especially in this environment.
Yeah, but budget does. So you could do best indie game, under
below a certain threshold.
Yeah, so let's say below $2 million, because we just know that it has to be. Generally, now you have, for a game, unless it's some guy made it in his basement, generally you have between $1 and $2 million for an indie title nowadays, because you get venture capital funding. So if it was like best indie game, you could even do like best indie game self-funded, which could be like people. There are ways to do this. So that's a discussion probably for another time. But best debut indie game was Blueprints, Claire Obscure, was Despelote, Dispatch, and Megabonk, which has been pulled,
removed.
And we don't know what's going to put in there, but it doesn't really matter because I put down Claire Obscure, but I do think I put that down because I played it, but I do think that it's either going to be Blueprints or Dispatch, and it's really going to depend on the way the wind blows.
I think recency bias is going to give it to Dispatch. Blueprints came out so early this year that I think people have kind of forgotten about it.
Blueprints is probably more in the spirit of what this debut indie should be.
100%. Dispatch, I think, is the best kind of.
It's probably the best debut indie from a smaller team. Like, I don't think Claire Obscure's here is because it is the first thing, but it's in a very much the same situation as Claire Obscure, and that whereas Claire Obscure was was for the most part former Ubisoft devs. Dispatch
is
former Telltale.
Telltale, yeah.
So if you take that out of account, if you talk about like people that haven't worked for a major before,
and like a lot of the people on Dispatch, these were second generation Telltale devs. So these are people that came in after Walking Dead season 1, after
because
some of their earlier titles.
Because the earliest guys, they went off and they ended up working for, was it Skybound?
Yes, Skybound.
And so like they're the ones that made the Expanse game most recently, and I think some of those people ended up making the other game, the Star Trek one. But yeah, like so like you have the senior devs that went off to Skybound, and then the younger junior devs went here, and then I guess technically Telltale still exists with the skeleton crew or something.
Telltale still exists because there's contracts that they still need to fulfill technically.
Yeah. So beyond that, Blueprints, it's going to be either like, I don't want
Clair Obscur to win.
I haven't listed. I think it's going to win. I think it's a coin toss at this point. It's either Clair Obscur on the one side, or the other side of the coin is really even almost another coin toss between Blueprints and Dispatch. I think if it's critics that are weighted higher, it'll probably be Blueprints that wins, because Dispatch has more chances to win and get attention otherwise.
Well, the problem is this is the one category Dispatch was eligible for.
Yeah.
And that's another controversy in and of itself. That has happened this year.
Yeah.
Awards. So
we'll see what happens. Best independent game, Absalom, Bollocks Pit, which is the only thing that Devolver has nominated anywhere in this year.
Yes, it's one of the only things they have published this year.
I think it was the only game they showed off at Summer Games Fest.
Yeah,
and that was I was like, huh? They only have one game ready? That was interesting. It turned out pretty good. But Blueprints is here, so Blueprints. See, because Clair Obscur could either win both or win one. I think Blueprints is going to win one of these categories, but I don't think.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Clair Obscur, Hades 2. Hades 2 is good, but I have a problem with early access games in that I almost think that to win these categories, it should be a game that, just came out all at once.
Well, here's the thing with Hades 2. Hades 2 is the big thing about Hades 2. One, it's launched on Nintendo Switch 2. Two, everything is officially out, and they pushed the patch before voting ended. So the patch fixes a lot of the story issues people had and whatnot.
Okay.
I personally had no issues with the story, but I went in knowing, okay, this is a timey-wimey mixing story. We're messing with time. Of course, stuff's going to be screwy. So I kind of just let it go. With my initial playthrough, and it's like, you know what? I'm fine with how it ended. I've seen the added bits that they added, and it's like, yeah, no, those are nice additions to it. It's not something that completely changes my opinion on the way it ended. It might for some people, because some people had issues with some of the player agency of the original ending.
Fair. And Hollow Knight Silk Song is here. Like, in most other years, you'd think it would be Hades or Hollow Knight. But I have a feel it won't be Bollocks Pit. It's just nominated so they can put it on their thing saying it was nominated. And Absalom,
and it's
same
not
thing.
Absalom either, but even though Absalom is a good game and it's isn't it technically early access? I forget.
Probably. I think debut indie should go to Blueprints, but it could also win an best independent game. It depends on how close to the letter of the the intent that they're going to go with here.
Okay, for personal correction, Absalom is not early access.
Okay, fair. Clair Obscure could win both. Blueprints could win both. Blueprints is listed in both. Dispatch is only listed in one. There's going to be contentions around whatever wins here. Birdman and you both put Hades 2. I put Clair Obscure, but I do think Blueprints could win here.
I will not be mad if Blueprints wins.
Yeah,
I would like Hades 2 to come out with something this year.
Yeah, there'll be something there. We'll see. We'll have to see. Best community support: Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky. I put down Baldur's Gate. Mike put down Baldur's Gate. You put FF14. The reason I put that was they had like some big content drops for it for free.
That's fair. I mean, again, FF14 always has some community support.
Yeah.
I don't think it's winning ongoing game, however, simply because their big content drop wasn't as highly well received.
Yeah, and the way I see it is community support to me is not just like patches or how they interact. It is a lot of times like what do they give what value do they add? And I think Baldur's Gate has added, out of all these, the best free content updates that don't require like advertisements or anything. Like Fortnite.
That's fair.
Fortnite has great community support. They have a lot of things they put in there, but it is still part of a big marketing machine. Baldur's Gate, you gave them your money, and a year or two later, they're like, "Hey, here's some free stuff," and big. I think they said it's the last one that they're doing, but they gave like a whole bunch of subclasses, a bunch of stuff. They had like new voice recording line. Like they put like a full, not a full expansion, but like a significant chunk that could almost be considered like
they have a whole epilogue.
Yeah, it's almost like they made a Game of the Year edition 2 years later, and they gave it to everybody for free. And they're like, "Hey, we're now working on our next game fully, but here you go." So that's why I put it in there. For best ongoing, which is the next one, you got FF14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, No Man's Sky. I put 14 because I see a lot of people, for the most part, like the game, but also like when it comes to MMOs nowadays with full-blown expansions, it's pretty much the only one that consistently hits for the most part nowadays.
The reason why I didn't give it ongoing games simply was because of the reception of the latest expansion was not as positive as previous.
That's fair, and I haven't played Rivals, so I that's why I didn't put it.
Yeah, Rivals is easily the most. It's the most fun and the most that I fell off the train, but I know a lot of people that are still on that train and enjoying themselves.
That's fair. And I know Birdman plays it a bit, so that's why he put it. Games for Impact, that's usually the one that's like either sometimes it can be the company donates a lot of the proceeds, or it's made by, funded by a cause, or it happens to have a big social commentary in there. Or,
some
that helps.
Major social commentary. The reason why I specifically chose Consume Me is it involves a lot of SA and stuff like that.
So yeah, I didn't even know what that was or play it, but the other one that was listed were Despelote, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and Wanderstop. Of these games, I've played Bloom and Rage and South of Midnight, and South of Midnight has like trauma dumping, but like it's handled pretty well, but it's kind of it's kind of like on the nose. Like it's very much like you can predict how everything's going to go.
Yeah,
is the best way to put it. It's very TV movie-esque in how it's presented. It's a good fun game, but again, it's another. It feels like a Game Pass game. Lost Records. The reason I put that, Mike put that because he saw the stuff and I had talked to him about it, but I put it because it's not just like, it's the people that made Life is Strange, so I love it. It's in playing the story. It has, the trauma dump and you're going through your history and learning things, but it's not. Everything isn't packaged up in a nice, tidy bow. It feels very real, and so that's why I put out of these games, I'd only played 2 of them, and one of them felt much more realistic than the other, and less like South of Midnight is presented in a Hollywood-esque aspect.
Yes.
Lost Records, Bloom and Rage is presented as if you're reading a novel.
Okay.
Like it's more, it feels more personal.
Okay.
But yeah, Kasumi, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Innovation and accessibility, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Atomfall, Doom, The Dark Ages, EA Sports FC 26, and South of Midnight. I put South of Midnight because it's one of the first Microsoft titles that had a lot of that stuff in it.
South of Midnight. I want to give South of Midnight its props. It is the best in terms of the Microsoft accessibility stuff. Easily, a great.
Doom had stuff, but it's not innovative in how it did it.
It's not as robust as what South of Midnight did.
And Assassin's Creed Shadows has a lot, but it's not just best accessible game, it's innovation in accessibility. The one that did the most, I think, out of all this was South of Midnight for the genre and for the studio, and it's gonna probably set the standard for their studio games
for Microsoft going forward. Yeah.
Best performance, this one's gonna be hard. Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, Erika Ishii, Jennifer English, Konatsu Kato, and Troy Baker. I'll go in saying that I didn't play Silent Hill.
So it is a battle. In my personal opinion, it is a battle between Konatsu Kato and Jennifer English.
Likely, yeah.
It is the 2 of them. I appreciate that Konatsu Kato got nominated instead of her English VA.
Yeah, so Mike put her down because he played the game. You put down Jennifer English. I put down Erika Ishii because, and here's my logic behind it. I think everybody here put in great performances.
Yes. It is a great performances all across the board. Ben gets even more credit because he was pretty much the voice director of the entire thing.
Yeah, I think in a situation where Jennifer English wasn't there, he would be higher on the list.
Yes.
Charlie is there because he's a name.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Even Charlie has admitted, I'm just there because I'm a name.
Yeah. Spoilers. He's in 20% of the game. It maybe more. I won't spoil entirely, but like,
he's even admitted. I give more credit to the motion capture actor, the French actor that did the role over my performance.
See, I feel you probably should have put. Okay, he's here because of his name, and he did a good performance. But I feel you could have swapped him out with pretty much any other actor from the game. Maybe. Oh,
I mean, for a fun, I would say SKA.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Which also gives credit to the actor that did Gustav, who is the same person.
Oh wow, yeah. Because I mean, you could put what's his name in there. Oh, I'm trying to blank. Why am I drawing a blank?
What character?
Mr. Mocap.
Andy Serkis.
Yes, sorry, Andy Serkis. The brain fart of that. You could put him in there, and in fact, I think if he had done the mocap, he probably would have been nominated because his voice acting is fantastic. But he did interviews saying that it was actually a really weird experience because every other video game he's ever done, he's also done the mocap.
Yeah.
So he didn't, and I thought he did. So he's that good. He was good enough to make his voice match the mocap.
Yeah, he is. Andy Serkis is a master craftsman, and he will never get the accolades he deserves. Just period.
Yeah, and I think the problem
he will
is
be considered one of the greatest actors that ever lived.
See, right now we're still at a point where games are listing best performance only. I know at some point they had like best actor and best actress. They tried doing that, and now they don't want that. They just want best performance. But I do think that there should be two categories nowadays. There should be best leading performance, and best supporting performance.
Yes.
Because then you could have had, he would have been listed in that category. That's where you could have had Charlie Cox, because he's not the main character. Even if the advertising, spoilers, he's not the main character of the game, even if all the advertising shows
it's pretty clear even early on who the main character is.
The teaser trailers showed him as the main character, but he wasn't. But the full trailers don't, so don't worry about that. I put down Eric Ishii. My reasoning behind this is Jennifer English does a great job. Ben Starr does a great job. They're part of a larger ensemble cast, and it's arguable as to who the main star is, depending on the chapter and where you are in the game.
Who you want to focus on.
Eric Ishii happens to be in every single moment of Yotei.
That is true.
So,
and also she did the mocap, but she did that butt naked mocap too.
Yeah. So if you look at everybody here, as far as the most lines having to deliver, it's her.
I would love to see Erica win. She's amazing. She's hilarious.
But she won't.
Great performer.
It's going to be Jennifer English.
It's Jen English.
Yeah. And
it's Jen English. If you have played Claire Obscure, you go, oh, it's Jen English.
Yeah. If it's not her, it will be you might even see audible gasps from the audience if they pick somebody else. But if they have to pick somebody else, like, I feel like Ben would accept it and be nice, and then after the show is over, he would go on social media and talk about how he should have won. I think they're not giving it to Kato. Troy's not going to get it for this. If Jen doesn't win, if Erica wins, I and the press would understand. I think people would get very mad in the Twitter sphere.
Yes,
because a lot of people didn't play the game. They just refused to play on the grounds of she's not hot enough, as in quotes, the gamers that don't like
controversy. Like Erica Ishii is she's non-binary, which doesn't help matters either.
So there's that. But as far as pure performances, while I do think Jennifer English is going to win, having played both, under the guise of having to hold a whole game down herself, Erica did a really good job. And I think when it hits PC and you get a chance to play it, she's probably the best part of the game, and it was that well done.
I mean, she does a podcast with Alana Pierce on her channel, and she's also friends with Ben as well.
So pretty much anybody that wins there, they're all going to be happy for each other. It's one of those sorts.
They're all going to be happy for each other. Everyone's going to be happy for each other. It's as much as I love Kato, and I think her performance is phenomenal.
If we see her in the audience, she's winning, because they're not flying some of these people out.
Oh, hell no. Yeah. But also, one of the other performances that I think should have gotten nominated instead of maybe Charlie Cox would be the actress for Pauline.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So, like, I think we're almost at a point where we need two categories: best lead performance and best supporting.
Exactly.
Best audio design: Battlefield 6, Claire Obscure, Death Stranding, Ghost of Yotei, Silent Hill. I put Ghost of Yotei because, again, having played it, this isn't best music. This is best use of sound design, staging, everything. And Silent Hill has a chance, obviously, and you guys both put that.
if
obviously
you,
horror games are always going to be high up on that list.
yes, but like legitimately, I played it with headphones on, and I was getting creeped out by just the way the audio is designed in the environment.
I
And
can
it's
say
also to be fair, on Xbox, it has Dolby audio support. Like, so if you have a Dolby based audio, like,
yeah,
you're gonna get great
for surround, but also if I read that they do have a profile in it specifically if you paid for that license for the headphone. So
yes,
exactly. it has proper spatial, which is something that is even
especially with something like Silent Hill F, where
yeah.
a lot of it is about spacing, and especially like with the combat, spacing is a huge part of it.
And that's a step above what Sony has, and even the Sony stuff, like their proprietary, is better than what base Xbox supports usually for headphones. So if you pay that $10 or whatever it is for the license on your Xbox,
it's usually by the time when you're listening to this, it's probably on sale for $10. Normally it's 20, but it's on sale for 10.
Yeah, generally a couple times a year they put it on sale, and it's good for I think 2 or 3 consoles. So if you have
it's good for, if you buy it on an Xbox console, it is good for your console. It is good for your PC. That license stays with your Microsoft account. Yeah,
it's up to, I think it's either 3 or 5, depending on what deal they do. It's either 3 or 5 devices. And so like I have it on my PC that I have for gaming in the living room. I have it for the PC in my bedroom for just listening to music and TV. And then I have it on my Series S. I used to have it on my X, but between those 3, I think I might have one more that I can license it to. There's a DTSX one, but no games actually use DTSX. It's just basically if you watch 4K Blu-rays. But the Atmos one is really worth it, especially for Windows, because if you turn it on Atmos, you don't have to negotiate with it if you have surround sound speakers or headphones. It will, if you plug headphones
it automatically switches.
Yeah, if you plug headphones in or if you use Bluetooth headphones, it'll switch from surround sound to the stereo version of Atmos and back and forth, and you never, like, turning off your TV or doesn't matter. It auto negotiates, whereas Windows is notoriously terrible for that on its own. So anyway, I would say the best audio design might be the hardest category to pick. Every single game here, Battlefield is known for that. Clair Obscur, Death Stranding, Ghosts, and Silent Hill. These are literally the perfect games to pick for this category and the hardest to pick. It could be anything.
Unlike the next category.
Best music. Death Stranding 2. It's gonna. I mean, it'll have it's interesting music. Ghost of Yote, good atmospheric music, and especially if you change the modes. Like there's the mode where it makes it like lo-fi pop music. Like there's a bunch of stuff you can do with it. It's great stuff. Hades 2. Obviously music. Hollow Knight Silksong, I don't know if that should really be nominated compared to the others, but like sure. It's Clair Obscur. It's just going to win. It's
8 hours and 10 minutes of music.
It's Final Fantasy 7 levels of how much music was written for it.
With another hour and a half if you count the extra album that they gave for free.
Basically, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth amount of music, and also just as compelling. So
some of the most beautiful tracks I've heard in a video game in years. Yeah,
it's in the top 3 soundtracks of the last 10 to 15 years.
And like a buddy of mine just started playing it, and he was like, holy shit, this soundtrack's amazing.
So like
and I tell him, like, every single time you go to a new area, it's different and it's also amazing.
If it doesn't win, I don't think it's possible. Out of every category,
it is swept everything. Every time it has been nominated for score and music, it is swept. I'm still mad at the Grammys for not nominating it, because what the hell's wrong with you?
Like, I mean, remember at Summer Game Fest, they even had like one of the songs performed from it. Like,
Yeah.
and it had only been out for a month or two at that point.
Hell, the opening sequence lives on its music.
Yep. So yeah, not much more we could say there. It kind of has to win. Like, there's no other.
And as much as I love Hades, and like I love the Hades 2 soundtrack. The Hades 2 soundtrack's amazing. Same thing with Silk Song. It's clair obscur.
Yeah. So yeah, like if this was a Final Fantasy, year, you'd have a run for its money. Or
Yeah.
if this was, like, I'm trying to think of anything else that could come out.
Maybe a Persona.
Yeah, okay. If Persona 6 and Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 17 were coming out, you'd be like, "Oh my god, what are we going to do?" Because it's that, like, you know that those soundtracks would be there. Or if potentially even like Xenoblade or something, if like Mitsuda doesn't have an album out this year, essentially. So like there's not really. But you're right. Persona 6 would be something that could give it a run for its money if it came out. So, but there isn't. Like, this is its year for soundtrack. Best art direction: Clair Obscur, Death Stranding, Ghost of Yotei, Hades, Hollow Knight. I put down Clair Obscur because I think they did the most with what they had budgetary wise, and it has, out of all of these, the most unique look. The reason I say that is Hades 2 is building upon the design of Hades 1, Hollow Knight, Silk Song.
I would argue every single character gets a redesign. And somehow they made them hotter.
Okay, there's that. I didn't say character design or hotness. I said it's art direction.
Yeah, art direct. It is Claire's to lose.
Yeah.
As much as I said Hades 2 would win this, it's Claire's to lose.
Because Hollow Knight, again, same thing. Like, you look at it, you know what it is. It doesn't do anything unexpected or different.
No.
Death Stranding, every single one of these is a sequel, if you notice, except for one. So it's Clair Obscur, and it does, especially when it's zoomed in, it looks a certain way. Where this wins are some of the cutscenes, which are really good, but it's specifically the overworld. Once you get to the overworld and traversal, and especially once you get the ability to travel over water or in air, it's the like diorama-y sort of look of it that gives it its feel. So Mike put down Hollow Knight, but he also hasn't played, I don't think, any of the others except for Death Stranding. But honestly, Death Stranding, it's artsy fartsy, but it doesn't necessarily have the best art direction. It's a very subjective category.
The only reason why we got Death Stranding 2 is because Death Stranding 1 sold so well. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think this is only sold in the same time period, a quarter of what the previous one did.
Yeah.
Best narrative: Clair Obscur, Death Stranding. I'm sorry, but like, before we even get to the rest, Death Stranding, Kojima games can't have best narrative because chaos does not equal narrative.
No. Here's the thing. There are two different types of chaos. You have Kojima chaos, and then you have Nomura chaos. I'd rather have Kojima chaos than Nomura chaos.
We should just have a separate category for, most narrative nonsense, and then just have those two go at it. because like best narrative, I should say best narrative is not the same as most interesting narrative. If you wanted to go with most interesting, Kojima usually gets into that category, no problem. Like, Death Stranding has one of the most interesting narratives out there. Ghosts of Yotei is a storyline paint by numbers. It's not the best narrative. It's a really good story, but it's not the best narrative. Kingdom Deliverance
2, everything I've heard about it is very positive about its story. It has some really cool elements to it. But it's just not played by enough people.
Yeah. Silent Hill F, you put that down. Mike put Death Stranding. I put Clair Obscur.
It is a competition between Silent Hill F and Clair Obscur.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Clair Obscur takes a little bit to get its storyline together, and then it has some deeper meaning and interesting stuff with it. But where it, in most years, where it might put people off is what I just call being French. it's so in, like, when I beat the game and I sat down.
It's super French, especially as it concludes.
Like, when I watched, I played the different endings. I went back and did it, and I sat down, and my very first thought was, it's so infinitely French. And then that's literally what I sent the message to people. I was like, this is the Frenchest French I've ever Frenched. And I feel like if you're not used to that or not understanding of that, you might look at it and go, this story is so sad that I don't know if I like it. And it's I know that there's been sayings about like how you can describe certain storytelling and certain art from and movies and stuff from different countries. Yeah. A good way is like the French is sad and melancholic. German storytelling is usually like it'll have sort of a mean twist to it with its sadness. And then Russian storytelling is defeatist and like questioning, why did I bother? That's generally how it is.
Yep.
Whereas this fit, like, you don't see a lot, like, games made in France for the world usually don't follow the storytelling methods and tropes that are,
to be fair,
infinitely French.
The only two devs that you consider French are Ubisoft and David Cage.
Yeah, as far as like large scale ones, obviously, and they still make their stuff for the international audience, so they don't do that. This felt like regular French art. So I was like, oh, yeah, I get it.
and this is somewhat, it is a Japanese adjacent style, but French.
Yeah. Whereas, and if your people are like, well, wait a minute, I play a lot of French games. Like, no, the vast majority of French games that you play are made in Quebec, which is French Canadian, and they don't follow the same mentality at all. The French Canadian mentality is still somewhat separate from like the rest of Canada, but it is there's a reason
why French. Yeah, there's a reason why French people don't call French Canadians French.
Yeah, the French Canadians are an island unto themselves, and it's like they will make things with a very Western, like North America mindset. It just happens to be French. There might be some Frenchisms within it, whereas games made in, like, this is a France game, like this, and this is a French story that ends in a French way, and it's meant to make your heart rip apart. That's what it is. I think it's going to win. Birdman put Death Stranding, you put Silent Hill F. It could be anything, but it's probably Clair Obscur, for the simple fact that the vast majority of people have never played a game like this. But the only thing that could put people off is if the voting public, we'll see. Like, if they think it's too dour. But I don't think it is. I think it's more like it's melancholic. People are like, it's so sad. Yeah. It's not sad. It's melancholic, and people don't understand necessarily the meaning of that word, right? So it's sad, but the right it's the storyline ends up being sad, but because it needs to be, not because it wants to make you feel sad. It needs to be because that's life.
Yeah.
And then best adaptation. This is the bullshit category. A Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, The Last of Us Season 2, Splinter Cell, Death Watch, Until Dawn.
The only thing that's actually good out of this is Last of Us Season 2.
Yeah,
even then, that's controversial.
Yeah, there's controversy involved in this, but it's like, I guess Fallout didn't count because Fallout came out, was it the year before?
Fallout technically was the year before, yeah.
But for whatever reason, even though it was eligible, it wasn't counted. We didn't get Sonic 3 in here, even though that should be the clear winner based on box office critical
Let's
receipts.
be on it. And let's be honest, Sonic 3 was the better thing out of all of these.
Until Dawn, nobody liked Until Dawn. Splinter Cell Death Watch, nobody watched.
Devil May Cry, people hate because it's fan fiction.
The fucking Minecraft movie's probably gonna win.
Oh my god, just shoot me.
You know why? You know what? Because I think political. As much as I think The Last of Us Part 2 or Last of Us Season 2 should win, it won't.
Yeah.
The reason Minecraft is gonna win is because Jeff wants Jack Black to be there.
Yeah.
And what does Jack Black have? 2 weeks after the Game Awards, he has the Anaconda movie coming out.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is it Universal or whomever is putting out Anaconda is going to pay money to advertise Sony. Okay, there's going to be a goddamn trailer at the showcase, in between at some point. They're going to show it off.
Yeah, they are due for a final trailer.
And what's going to happen is Jack's going to come out. There's going to be a Muppet segment with Jack, and there's going to be a Muppet Anaconda.
I can see it happening. I can fucking see it happening.
And what's going to happen is the Minecraft movie will win, and Jack will accept it.
Yeah. Look. The Minecraft movie is not a god-awful piece of shit.
The people made the experience awful.
The people made the experience awful, and then on top of it, I don't think the movie is a cohesive movie.
It's not a cohesive adaptation.
My issue with the Minecraft movie is it feels like there are scenes missing from it. Like, there are scenes on the cutting room floor that make the movie make no fucking sense.
Probably, man. So we'll see what happens.
I'm the one that sat through the movie. Like, I sat through it in theaters.
Good Lord.
At like 10 at night.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't have crazy chicken jockey bullshit, which is the reason why I saw it at 10 at night.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. It's probably going to be there. We'll
yeah.
See.
I would like Last of Us to win because that's the only thing that's actually good, but Minecraft will probably win.
Yeah. Best game direction: Claire Obscure, Death Stranding, Ghost Yote, Hades, and Split Fiction. Mike put Death Stranding. You put Expedition. I put Expedition. This is the only thing that Kojima could win.
He could win, but he shouldn't.
Yeah, Yote is good, but unless you want to consider direction just being able to properly make a gigantic game work, like maybe best producer, maybe best game production should be a category of like getting the project together, because Ghost Yote is a massive project that it was executed perfectly. Zero hitching, no frame rate issues. There were no broken quests. Everything just fucking worked. And that is a rarity nowadays for a game that size for a true AAA title. But at the same time, Split Fiction could win. Joseph Fares is good, but but not this year, not with this competition.
No.
Same with Hades.
Well, the argument against Hades 2 is how kind of weird the 1.0 launch story
if you have to release a major story patch to update it and to fix things, you shouldn't be nominated for best game direction.
Well, also that story patch was way too quick for them to truly be for it to not have been planned. For it not to have been planned, because they basically, I think they went 1.0 on purpose because they needed to get the Switch 2 launch.
Probably. That wouldn't surprise me. Because looking at this stuff, Claire Obscure...
It's Claire Obscure.
it is going to win.
If you hear any interview with the director of that game, you understand.
Yeah,
this is a visionary. This is like, it was his vision, and he executed it.
What I think will happen here, though, is because Death Stranding is not winning Game of the Year. I could see this being manipulated to give Kojima an award for Best Direction as a consolation prize for your game not selling.
Look, Kojima winning, fine, but it's clear. It's clear.
Yeah. So, but it's one of those two. But again, like Yote could possibly win if it wasn't that there's nothing
to me the word
wildly innovative.
Yeah, the word game direction does not constitute what Ghost of Yote was.
As far as like a amazing whole project, the problem here is Jeff has gotten rid of the categories from back in the day where they listed best game on each console. It is the best PlayStation game of the year, period.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that it's not, it is best game of the year material. It's just, and best, direction. But like, I feel like we would be better served having best Nintendo game, best blah, blah, blah all over again. But yeah, it's probably going to be.
The problem is that Microsoft is so inconsistent in what they release.
Well, exactly. The best Xbox game would probably end up being a third party.
Exactly. And then people would be pissed at that.
So the final thing here, Game of the Year, Clair Obscur, Death Stranding, Bonanza, it won't win. Hades 2, it won't win. Hollow Knight, it won't win. Kingdom Come, it won't win.
It won't win.
Kingdom Come should not have been nominated for Best Game of the Year at all.
I would argue there needed to be some kind of European vote.
For Game of the Year, looking at this,
people love Kingdom Come Deliverance too, man. It's
there are
not
games,
our kind of game.
What I'm surprised more at with the RPGs was that Trails of the Sky wasn't nominated. Not for Game of the Year, but specifically going back to RPG. Why?
I don't think it was on a lot of people's radar in terms of
because it got like an 89 or 90% on Metacritic and OpenCritic. So
yeah, but like in terms of ones people talked about in like the circles of media that Jeff has conglomerated to doing the voting body, I don't think.
Yeah, it wasn't a persona. It wasn't a metaphor level. Although, it got enough buzz and sold well enough that I can see perhaps.
I mean, they've
Sky
already
2 coming.
They've already greenlit it. It's already happening.
Yeah,
they've said Sky 2 is happening.
So we'll see, and it's apparently coming like next year. So we'll see what happens. Because they were obviously doing them back to back because it's the same engine. It's just the story is extended, right? So, but yeah. So from this, it's Clair Obscur. Mike put Donkey Kong because he just freaking loves it, but it won't win.
I do love Donkey Kong. Don't get me wrong. Donkey Kong's finale, the last like 2 hours of that game, are spectacular.
Yeah, without spoiling it for people, you think it might start to get stale. It doesn't.
Nope.
So yeah, it's Clair Obscur. So I mean, we've all got that down except for Mike. This is sort of a general idea of.
And I don't think Mike. As much as we would love to push Mike to play Clair Obscur, it's not his kind of game.
He hasn't played. I mean, some of the pairing maybe would be a little bit like his stuff, but he's been trying to play Persona 4 Golden for 4 years and it hasn't started yet. By the time he starts, the new game will be out.
Yeah, the new one will be out.
So we're not throwing him under the bus. It's just
getting
him to play an RPG. If there isn't a black cat, then it's not happening. At least not in any sense of urgency. It has to have a black cat or Red 13, or he's not playing it immediately. And even when Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was out and I played it for review and he got it after and he was playing it during the summertime, I kept getting text messages and be like, "Am I at the end yet?" And I'm like, "No,
No,
and I'm
not
like,
even close.
and he goes, "Am I at the end?" I was like, "Where are you?" And he's like, "Here." I'm like, "Dude, you're 20% in." He goes, "No, you're lying." I'm like, "I'm not fucking lying. The game's like 100 hours." And what? He goes, "Well," he goes,
At least the one good thing about Clair Obscur is it's shorter.
and
But
with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, here's something crazy. I don't even remember if I mentioned it in my review. When I played it, I couldn't figure out how to use the chocobos to go into Cosmo Canyon. So I didn't realize there was an entire open world area I was supposed to explore there. So I went, I was like, oh, this is a small area. And it's like, you can jump down there. I was like, oh, is it like to get like a hidden chest or something? No? Okay, well, I'll move on. So I moved on. I moved on, went and did the story till like, not till the end, like till before you're supposed to sail up at the end. And then I was like, well, maybe I should go back and collect that chest or two that I missed from that launching pad. And then I figured out how to launch up across it. Because remember, I had it for review before the game was released.
Anything, yeah.
So there were no guides online, and unlike other companies that sometimes create like a Discord forum, there was nowhere to ask. And I was like, oh, I'm playing around. And then I figured out how to launch myself off, and I went, oh no, there's an entire area that I missed with like a lot of story, And I only realized it when I went and I looked at because you can't see your trophies before it launches. When a trophy pops up, you can look at that trophy, but then you can't see any of the offline stuff until they've enabled the trophies. So I didn't know what I was missing. But then I looked and I was like, wait a minute. I had figured out how I was supposed to do. Basically, I had logically figured out how I was going to fight Gilgamesh. I'm like, I was thinking, well, you have to collect everything first. I'm like, okay, wait, what am I missing? And I'm like, I'm missing like 10% of the game. And I found it. I was like, oh no. So like, he wasn't even there. Like he asked me, am I near the end of the game? When he had just completed Junon. And I was like,
boy, dude.
And he goes, so after I get this rover and I go across, like, you're at like 30%. so like he ended up liking him. He's like, it's so long. I'm like, yeah, isn't that great? He's like, so like there's a very different mentalities. And yet if it had been Fallout 4, he would have been able to put like 200 hours in. So like there's certain types of games that affect us differently. And for me, like that lush environment with the storytelling, that was my thing. I hated the Moogle stuff, but other than that, and the catching of the fucking chocobos with the mini games, fuck that. But beyond that, like if you trimmed out maybe 10% of that game and it would have been perfect. But anyway, that aside,
it's Clair Obscur's.
He's not going to play Clair Obscur. He might watch a bit, and he would like the storytelling bits. I think he'll probably watch that and get a feel for it because it'll help design some story stuff. But yeah, it's probably not for him, even if he acknowledges that it's a very beautiful game.
And to be fair, a majority of Clair Obscur is built for RPG sickos.
Yeah, RPG sickos and getting people that are interested in Souls games to try a turn-based game.
Yes.
So like my brother is like super good at like hard ass games that I would never play.
Yep.
And he was like, he goes, even on the hardest difficulty, he's like, this game's pretty easy. And he goes, there's only one hard fight. And I was like, Simon? And he's like, yeah. Because he went up against the rest, like some of the other super bosses, and he's like, it was a little challenging. And then I sent a message. I said, so have you beaten it yet? And he goes, no, there's only one part I'm having a trouble at. And I'm like, is it Simon? Yeah.
Everyone. I actually just saw a short of someone running into Simon, and chat's like going, no, don't.
That is a poor choice if you're not ready. And like I ended up I cheesed it by having to I got the accessory that is I think it's the luck one, the one that's like the casino one where it randomly does like up to double or 4 times the damage, or it could do like almost nothing. And I had that, and so I ended up doing like
feast or famine.
Yeah, I did like 12 million damage for the one hit. And then I did that's the only way I was able to do it. My brother beat him without using any of that, and I was like, "What?" And he's like, "That sucked." He goes, "I was here for like a half hour," and I was like, "What?"
There's a buddy of mine. There's a buddy I watch. He played the entire game, zero defense.
Oh, good lord!
Don't get hit.
The true Souls experience. But yeah, like there's ways to I love that you can break it however you wanted, but yeah, like that is what it is. It's a bit of a janky system, but it's there. So yeah, I mean, it's probably going to win and should win Game of the Year. It really should.
Yeah.
And not just as a great game, but obviously as a statement too for, it's like, hey, look what can be done for, under $50 million.
A reasonable budget.
Under 50 million, realistically, could you have made this game for less money? Yes. Would it have taken longer? And
yes.
and would the staff they would have had to scale back their staff. They would have had to probably put in more hours than they wanted to admit for less pay. But this was able to be done at a comfortable pace where everybody was paid well and still come in at under a $50 million budget.
Yep.
So that's good. Now the last categories that I added for us, aren't part of the main show, just for our own, sort of custom categories. I put down, favorite game, which can be distinctly different from the best game. And I put, or a game that affected you the most emotionally, because sometimes you may admit that the best game was something else, but like, hey, here's the game that hit me the most. So I put down Clair Obscur because it was the one that made me think the most. I had the most dreams and thoughts afterwards of the story and what it means and the concepts and everything. Mike put Assassin's Creed Shadows. He really did enjoy that a lot more than he was expecting.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, it's Hades 2. Ipso facto, easily Hades 2. I have sunk, let me just double check. I have officially sunk 172.4 hours.
Well, there you go. So that's
and that doesn't account for what I'm already sinking into the Switch 2 version.
I put down another category was most disappointing game, and I put down doesn't mean terrible, just the thing that disappointed you the most, because a game can be mediocre or even it can be a great game but be completely different than what you thought it was going to be, and then you didn't like it because of that. So I put down Shadow Labyrinth. That was the Pac-Man game. It looked exciting and interesting, and it ended up being not just hard, poorly thought out, poorly performing. Everything was just off. Like it felt like a demo, and I was like, oh, this is sucky. And that became sort of everybody's thought. It had good trailers, it had good ideas. It had the most interesting, or one of the most interesting episodes of that TV show that Amazon Prime put on last year. And it just
of which we're getting more of that probably next year.
Yeah. And it just sort of fizzled out, and it was like, there are other games that I found were disappointing or were bad, but it wasn't that this was just really bad. It was kind of bland. It's just, it really was a letdown from the potential of what it was presenting itself as. Birdman put MK Legacy Collection because it looked fantastic and then performed like shit.
Yeah. For me, it's the Mario Party Jamboree upgrade for Switch 2, which is a complete waste of fucking money. Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me. It's like that for a lot of... The Kirby one is actually a good upgrade.
Yeah, but like what's even worse about Jamboree is that it doesn't even upgrade the base game.
Yeah, it's just
It's this extra content that gets the 4K resolution and all that stuff. The base game gets none of those upgrades. Yeah, that's what makes it worse.
It just adds a new launcher within the game. That's all it is.
Yeah. that to me is the biggest middle finger, is that not even the base game gets any upgrades. It's just the new content.
At least Bowser's Fury, when they put that out, they added that mode to the game, but then the main game itself already had enhancements.
Yes.
So this isn't even that. I put down a category for best remaster or compilation, which is something we mentioned that really should be a category. And I put or port. So when I say remaster, remaster or compilation of remasters, that could be, I wouldn't count like the HD 2D games as that. Those are new games of old. Those are remakes, not remasters, right? So remaster compilation would be like the MK collection, or a port would be when you take a game without doing a full remake, but you're porting it to a new platform with some enhanced visuals, but you haven't ultimately changed the fundamental feel of the game. So I put down for that the Raiden Remastered. That is the SMT game that was released on Switch 2 and other platforms as well, but it was a faithful port of the original PS2 game, but felt modern, worked with modern controls, zero hitches, buttery smooth, good voice acting. It's pretty much excellent. Birdman put Metal Gear Solid Delta, and he put the Capcom Fight Collection too, because he couldn't pick between them. But those are prime examples. Except, see, it's funny. Delta, I would almost say, is a remake, but then it's also not. Like it is and it isn't. It's like
yes and no.
It's so pure of a remake that it almost borderlines on just being a port.
Yeah. I chose Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 upgrade because it's a completely different fucking game.
Yeah, it's not just a FPS bump.
The FPS bump and the resolution bump make it feel like a completely different game.
And there's some like little tweaks to some of the way that things are rendered too.
Yeah. But like it really does feel like a completely different game.
The next
this is from someone that completed Tears of the Kingdom.
Well, there you go.
Switch 1.
Exactly. And as somebody who didn't play those and didn't like them, when the system came out and I had the opportunity to try the upgrades, I went, you know what? Let's give it a go. And it did feel a lot better, even for me who didn't care for the original games. The other category I've got here, I've got one more. Best AA game. So best AA or best like 7 out of 10, swimming in sevens. Not going to be for everybody, but like, you know what? This is a solid game. There's not been a lot of those in recent years. A good prime example of one that got decent praise, but it's like a AA game that might fly under the radar. But if you got it for Christmas, people would probably still like it. Would be like, the Pac-Man World games, or repack, like the repack stuff, or like, it's a good example. It could be something even like, I'm not talking like just remakes or repack. It's got to be something with a decent budget put in, but not ever even attempting to approach AAA. Yeah, exactly. So I like a Kunitsugami is a good example of like what would be considered that. I put the Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza, and I couldn't pick between that one and Mafia of the Old Country. Like a Dragon, I think, didn't get a lot of love, at least at the award show or anything, because it came out so early in the year. It was super duper fun, but again, on a smaller budget, smaller scale, and in a very similar budget.
Reusing a lot of assets like the franchise has done for forever.
So that's why I put down two things here, because as much as I like that, I do think this is a category that's perfect for something like Mafia of the Old Country. Now 2K would say that Mafia is a AAA game. It's not. it's not at all, but it is a pristine example of what a really good AA title is. And so that's why I put Mafia here. I wanted to give it some highlight. Birdman put down MechWarrior 5 Clans, the DLC for that expansion. I guess that counts because the game itself is a AA game, and then it has a AA expansion, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I did Dear Me I Was, which is a small like hour and a half experience from the folks at Arc System Works. It is completely dialogue free. It is just a visual experience, and it is a great little game to pick up on for your Switch too.
Good, and I should probably preface and say, an indie game is not necessarily considered a AA title.
Yeah,
but it can be.
but
Most indie games are not. In this case, it has to be
Yeah.
something that's elevated, which is something like what you've mentioned there.
Yeah.
AA is that stuff that sits in between the super high budgets of AAA, and
this is a small team at ArcSys doing something that is just neat.
if you're wondering, what would be the upper tier of what you consider AA, Clair Obscur is a AA title.
Yes.
So if that explains,
I think Clair Obscur is the upper echelon of that.
Yes, I would say a AA title is something that costs more than $10 million, but less than $80 million to make in today's budgets. Somewhere in that realm, averaging probably at that 50 million to 60 million mark.
Yeah.
Now it can be less. It can be. It's also a visual representation of how does it feel. What's the scale.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's that sort of thing. So like, you'd find things in here, like those Pac-Man games. You'd find things like a Sonic title. Like, I don't consider Sonic Frontiers a AAA game. And I don't think a lot Sega would like to. It's not. Budgetary wise or anything, or like, even I would say, it's weird. I would say until Like a Dragon, the first 6 Yakuza games were not AAA.
Yes.
They were AA titles. And then the last 2, Infinite Wealth and Like a Dragon, they were larger in scope, more things. Even it's hard to believe as it was, more things were involved, and they did increase the budgets. Those are AAA. So that's a good example, I would guess. Like, basically, if it has less than $100 million budget and has less than 50 hours of gameplay for a single player game, it's probably a AA title. Other examples of AA titles would be Avowed.
Yes.
I would say the Outer Worlds 2 is walking that line. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. And the last category of custom ones that I put here was best retro style game, which could be an art or gameplay style. And I put that's the tie between Shinobi, Art of Vengeance, and Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, because as much as one is I would say subjectively better than the other, they both were prime examples of what an IP for double or AAA can do when given a small budget. Like, these games didn't cost more than $5 million a piece total, including marketing, right? Mike put the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, and he put down December. He double checked the date and he put it down December 2024 because it counts, because it was after the the cutoff for this would normally have been. And then you put Shinobi on here.
Shinobi was such a fun game to play through. It even though it doesn't get any benefits from Switch 2, it was just fine to play on Switch 2.
Yeah, we're kind of back in the year of the Ninja again, and they both felt good, and that so it's
also the VO in Shinobi is just great.
Oh yeah, exactly. So,
I mean, you got Sung Wong Cho as the villain.
And I guess the only other thing we have here to talk about before we wrap up is I put down, do we have any thoughts on like what celebrities you think will be at the show? I already mentioned I think Jack Black's going to be there. I'm pretty sure that's a lock. He's making the rounds right now to promote to
promote Anaconda.
So
yeah.
it seems he's. Do you think we have Al Pacino having a seniors moment again? I think that's going to be avoided.
No.
I don't know if we're going to have a director come out and advertise a movie. It's possible. I probably something for Fallout 2, season 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think? I know some other properties.
Fallout season 2 is dropping the week after or the week of.
So it wouldn't surprise. Oh wait, and that's Amazon, and this isn't this in the Amazon like theater?
I think so, but it's also streaming on Prime. So yeah.
Yeah. So
there's going to be a thing.
So expect I forget what's her name plays Lucy, and expect Walton probably to be there.
Yeah.
Unless they're stuck doing. Yeah, I guess they're done filming, so it's not like they're doing.
They'll probably show like the opening scene or something from season 2.
Yeah, so have them there. You know what? It's possible. Have them there to advertise it, and then have them advertise. They're like introduce a trailer for like a remastered version of New Vegas or something.
Yeah.
So have them. Jack Black likely, I honestly think it's very likely. As far as celebrities that aren't voice actors, it's possible that we have another game that gets announced, like a bigger title that happens to have a famous actor come out and do a quick speech. We'll see. Kojima's going to be there, obviously, so if he has anybody with him, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure if there's any other major celebrities I could see being there, unless there's some big tie-in game.
Unless they're associating with some major new game.
Yeah, like unless we're getting like some big, release info for, I don't know, like Lazarus, or if the BioShock
or
is
like
coming.
some big actors in GTA 6.
Yeah, exactly. Like yeah, for instance, if they might have the voice actors of the GTA 6 people come, and you'd be like, oh, here's the cast of GTA 6 to introduce something, yada yada. Or if BioShock gets shown off, they haven't really announced if there's anybody famous in that one yet. So if one of the games that has already been announced but hasn't had anything shown yet shows up, they might have a voice actor come out and be like, hey, it's Ray Romano in BioShock. You'd be like, what?
That'd be weird.
So something
in terms of the, but going into the next thing, which is the games and world premieres, I think Persona 6 is going to get teased.
I would hope so. If not, we'll get some big full gameplay showing of Persona 4. Because that's the next one coming. So I think it's one of those two. Either we get a title reveal with a song for 6, and then I think FF7 Part 3 gets its title revealed.
Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna get a trailer.
It'll just
gameplay.
Be a title drop. It'll be a title drop.
It'll be a title drop, or I'm trying to think. They've introduced basically every playable character, even if you haven't played as them yet. I think, unless they're introducing new people. So I don't know from Part 3. I'm thinking of where things end up and who's in it.
I mean, you might show Vincent gameplay if you're going to show gameplay.
Maybe, yeah. Either you'd have that, or the only thing I could think of that would be worth it, if they're going to show or do a complete tease and not just have it be Sephiroth, or not have it just be Zack saying something, it would be interesting if it's just all dark and they have like a trailer that just has like lights coming on and all this, and you hear like this like horrifying sounds, and it sort of zooms out and you realize you're looking at one of the weapons. That and and you have like Sid or somebody say, hold on kid, and then it's just like you see like the high wind flying off into the distance or something, like to show that it's all going to be about airships and shit. If they do anything, it'd be a tease like that, or it would be like, instead of showing the meteor, they'd be like, just be like people talking with a black screen. They'd be like, what the hell is that? And it zooms out and it's just like the northern crater with the force field on it or something. Like there's something you could do with it. But I think it would probably be a black screen with just like hints of the music in the background, and then a few people talking randomly where you're hearing like lines from the game, and then it just shows the title.
Yeah.
FF9 is still possible. The game's been done for years.
The rumor is it's dead. It's a dead project. I don't know.
I don't know if they would ever scrap that project though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, unless they had to write it off, and they would, at that point, we would have had it reported on.
Yeah.
So I think they're holding on to it because they're not sure when FF7 gets finished.
Maybe, but like I'm wondering, it's like, why go through all the trouble of the anniversary for FF9 and not do anything,
especially when all they did was release a remastered version of the song. They put the song out, put a YouTube video out for the song, and that was it. I was like, what the fuck was that?
And then some merchandise, and that was about it.
So I have a feeling, because GTA got pushed,
maybe, but I would think, like, do something crazy like shadow drop it or something like that. That
maybe
would be insane.
If FF7 isn't getting a fall of next year release, then they're waiting for March, or I don't think they're going to wait all the way to the fall of 2027.
I think FF7 3 is going to get. They were planning on the fall, but GTA got pushed, so they're going to push it to early, before end of fiscal year.
So like somewhere in February, like the last one, February or March of 2027.
Yeah.
If they do that, they can take advantage of the 30th, even though it's not the same date, the 30th year anniversary of the game. So they can do that. And then I think if they do that, we get FF9 in the summer or fall beforehand.
Yeah.
I think that they won't want to wait until after FF7 to release 9, because there'll be the hype will be gone.
Yes.
I feel like Rebirth weirdly did better because 16 came out within the same year, like within a full 12-month calendar year of it. Even though 16 ultimately didn't sell the way that they expected, and there were issues with the design. It's not Yoshi P's problem. It's just fundamentally it's not what Final Fantasy fans wanted. It's a similar situation to 13 all over again, but just in different ways. But I feel like that raised the hype for 7 Part 2.
Yes.
So I think that releasing 9 while people are hyped for any Final Fantasy right now would be good. And then you have, 7 or something. I don't think, as much as I'd love to see it, I don't think we're getting like a Chrono Trigger remaster or HD2D. I do think...
Yeah, the Chrono Trigger button hasn't been pressed yet.
I think they're waiting for 7 to finish.
They want 7 to finish.
And they want to have
get that out the door.
And they want 17
then
to be...
press the button.
I think they want 17 to start pre-production because they know it's going to take a while. They want, which apparently they haven't started yet. That's the rumors that they haven't even been looking at it, and it's like, you got to start, motherfuckers, because it's going to be like 7 years. So
it's going to be a next gen game.
Yeah. So I think what's going to happen is I think we're going to get in this next little bit at the show. You might get 9 shown. If you don't get 7, has to have something here. If it doesn't have anything, I'll be very surprised. Not even like a title.
Yeah.
You either have to have 7, you have to have 9, or you have to have Kingdom Hearts, because otherwise Square has nothing planned.
Yep.
So it's they've already said they've scaled back other projects. It's too soon for a Star Ocean, unless they're remastering, the other games. And the third game people didn't like. Grandia, they published Grandia 3, but the rest of the Grandia games are Game Arts, and I think they're somewhat owned by Sony, so who knows.
Yeah.
They don't have other big properties unless they're going to show Dragon Quest 12, which has had development delays and issues. We got 7.
They could show 12.
They could do. And they already had the title released like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Well, the problem with 12, the problem that happened with 12 is the entire franchise changed producers.
Yeah, and they that whole thing about we're going to make it darker. We're going to make it darker and different.
And that has been at least over a year plus since that happened. So
yeah,
we'll probably see something.
Yuji Horii is focused
6 months.
Yuji Horii, while he apparently the work he did on the concept and basic stuff, he finished for 12 like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, Toriyama's work has been complete on that way before.
It was like a couple years before he passed.
Yeah,
he had worked on it. He had already, like, Sandland and the stuff was worked on after he finished his work that he was doing for 12.
For DQ.
And Yuji Horii did the same thing. They worked together. They did what they always did, which was they collaborated at the beginning. They had it ready, and they sent it off to the team. And Yuji Horii, his whole thing has been overseeing the HD 2D stuff, and then as well as 7, which is done by an outside studio. But like, his job has just been overseeing the trilogy. So it's possible we see 4 announced or 5, or what might be easier and more likely is I have a feeling that the team that's doing 7 is probably going to do 8. And then we might see that Yuji Horii announces, 4, 5, and 6 as a trilogy being worked on. If not now.
That would be nice.
But outside of Square, things that we could see there, we haven't seen the final gameplay of Lazarus yet, which is, I think, that's the old Bioshock team. We haven't seen Bioshock 4, which has been in development for like 5-6 years now.
Well, apparently they are starting over on that.
Okay.
In terms of the story, because they got a somewhat finished idea on what the game is, and the producers did not like it.
Okay, we'll see from there. We'll probably see Prince of Persia or something else. Ubisoft has had nothing to show in a while, so it's time. I know obviously people.
If Ubi shows something cool, but I'm not holding my breath given the fact that they're in financial flux.
They're going to show Sands of Time because the rumor is it's coming out in January.
Yes.
Beyond that,
there's major leaks that Sands of Time is getting revealed at Game Awards. So I can see that. We probably won't see an update on any of the Splinter Cell or any of that Tom Clancy stuff. Oh, hell no.
Because now they have that new management company that's going to be handling it. So we'll see. It'll be a year or two till we see that. Like, they have a bunch of dormant properties. We'll see what happens. It is always possible that we see a new Rayman or Rabbids game. So we'll see if they have anything there. As far as
we don't necessarily know what Montpellier is doing, but they also were heavily attacked with cuts. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I want to see Exodus, the game from Archetype, the old, the like biggest conglomeration of old BioWare people that actually moved on together. Because everybody else, you had like 1 or 2 key people go to all these different companies, and every one of their games has failed. But like the core group that did like the Knights of the Old Republic, the Dragon Age team,
the classic shit,
Mass Effect 1 into partway into 2. All of those people, they're all at Archetype, and Exodus has been showing more and more gameplay, and it's like, I think it's time to finally show it. I would assume it's coming out next year, maybe. I'd hope so. So you got that. As far as like other premieres, I'd like to see an update on the Star Wars Eclipse from David Cage. Who knows? But as far as like brand new surprises, if there's anybody that has surprises to show, I don't think it's Sony right now. With they're still struggling to come out of their.
If anything, maybe Nintendo.
And I don't know. They've always had like a standoffish sort of thing with the Jeff Fest and anything to do with him. So like somebody will be there to
at least since Reggie left. So
yeah. So I mean, um, Doug Bowser is retiring, right? Or is he already retired, or is he
Doug is left or is
leaving in January? I think.
in
So
January.
either Doug will
So,
be there, or his replacement will be there to accept the whatever awards Bonanza gets. Not Mario Kart, but whatever awards Bonanza gets. Just like last year, if you remember, I think Doug Bowser was in.
Well, that's a Nintendo thing. Like Nintendo doesn't like dealing. Nintendo specifically doesn't like having their developers get poached, so they are very careful.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the Nintendo Japan doesn't like it, so what they do is they send the president of the U.S. division to accept awards. So, or if Shigeru can't be there, because like he'll like Shigeru will be there if he's already there to market something else.
Well, he's probably on the set of Zelda, so maybe not.
So exactly. So it'll either be Doug or his replacement will be there. Last year, if you remember when they won awards, it was at the pre-show he accepted, and then he was conned. Or not the pre-show, like it was like at the very beginning, like
very early on, and then he left.
So we'll see. As far as other studios, Mass Effect would be nice to see something there. They said they had nothing at N7 Day, but they're like, oh, we'll keep an eye. Like, it's got to be something from some of these studios. But as far as like surprises, like completely out of the blue, there's always a couple. There's always 2 or 3 that did not.
He always
leak.
has something.
He always, he gets 1 or 2 of the studios, maybe 3 that have 0 that you have no idea, and it's just out of left field. And if I'm thinking of the studios that could do that, it's possible Sony, but I think they're still struggling to get out of their live service issues. So I'm thinking, and Microsoft might be willing to give them something, but they just blew off.
Microsoft just had a massive purge, so who knows?
And they just blew out their third-party partner deal thing, which had a few announcements like before the show. It doesn't make sense why they did it there, but obligations, I guess. So I'm thinking it might be something from Ubisoft, but more than likely it'll be something from Koei Tecmo, because they seem to always have, if not one of their own properties, they always have a deal with Sony or Microsoft for something new.
Well, also Koei Tecmo is a co-developer on the Fire Emblem games.
Yeah.
And they have been for the last couple.
So it's possible we see a Namco title, but maybe not. It's not usually as much of their jam, unless it's like, Elden Ring 2 or something that they're partnering on.
Unless it's from Soft related.
Yeah. So I think Koei Tecmo could be showing off a AA or AAA title. Capcom is going to be right now all in on Resident Evil, unless they also have like a Dino Crisis, but probably not. And they're also thinking of like Pragmata. Konami might have something. But for them, the surprise would likely be another remake.
If Konami is going to announce anything, it would be an MGS collection.
It would either be an MGS collection or in partnership with Sony that they're redoing MGS 4, or it would be that they're doing another Silent Hill.
A new Silent Hill project or something.
Yeah, or the big surprise would be if we saw Castlevania of some sort.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
If not a traditional one, like, a logo pop up or something that they're working on, a big budget one again or something.
Or just like subcontract out to do like a retro one.
Yeah. So it's possible. I think we're going to see something from Atari, whether that be their own properties or another Digital Eclipse style thing. Night Dive will have something small, but as far as big stuff, probably Koei, more likely than any of those. If not Square. A lot of the studios are being a little more conservative over there in Japan, so probably not much there. From Western studios, whatever's left of Embracer, probably nothing. It's possible, though, that we end up seeing something from Saber. Because remember, they did the big split, and they took a bunch of studios with them, and I believe in the split, I believe they got the rights to KOTOR, the remake, from Aspyr. So it is possible we see something from them. I think there's not a big chance we see much from the American studios. We might see like some surprising like ones with like investment firms or something that invested from like. We're not seeing a lot of the Chinese ones right now. We're not seeing a lot of the ones from like
Chinese or Korea.
Yeah, we're not seeing a lot of that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see who pops up.
Another definite thing is probably Hoyo's new game.
Yeah, we'll see some stuff like that. But I think as far as like big publishers, I think Koei is the one that we'll probably see something new from.
Yeah,
and that's
Koei will probably have something. So
yeah, and that's probably it. I mean, that's without going into minute details of things. That's probably going to do it. So that's going to be our prototype long-winded preview show for the Game Awards.
It's the two of us, Alex.
Yeah,
we don't talk more than less than an hour.
Well, and this way we can get it over with, because it's also sort of like a bit of a roundup of what our thoughts were on the games for the whole year, but also going into predictions, because then now after this we'll come back in a couple weeks when the actual Game Awards have finished, and we can talk about the results and talk and mostly focus on what was shown and maybe what wasn't shown, without having to get too into the nitty-gritty of our thought process, because we already did it here for a couple of hours. So that's going to do it right here for the prototype at This Week in Geek. We'll be back actually fairly soon with our holiday gift guide and all of our other holiday programming, and be sure to check into part 2 of this whenever. It should be a day or two after the Game Awards finishes, and after that we'll pretty much be on break. But yeah, we'll be back next time right here at thisweekingeek.net.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Thanks for listening to this episode of This Week in Geek. Hungry for more? Check out our website at thisweekingeek.net. You can subscribe to the podcast, browse our Twitter and Instagram, and leave your thoughts on today's topics. If you'd like to give us some feedback, send us an email at feedback@thisweekingeek.net. Tune in next time, and remember,
Lower your shields and surrender your listenership.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.